timer as well. My bad. My bad, guys. Now I think it should be good. I was just saying in the chat how I was figuring out this streaming stuff and then immediately messed up the YouTube stream. Thanks, Pumpy. It's live now? Thanks, yeah. I would have been sitting here for like 10 minutes. Like, where is everyone? Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a weird thing for me. When I schedule a YouTube stream, which is a little different than just immediately going live. Yeah. Oh, that's why you were asking. Yeah. Nah, you're good. Thanks. Yeah, when I schedule it, it's a little bit weird for some reason. It like hangs on prepping stream. I don't know if it's because I have to be like specifically at the time that I scheduled it. Like I wouldn't be able to maybe start it at like 10:29 if I scheduled it for 10:30, but I'm not sure. Streaming for the EU crowd. Yes. What's up, Christian? How's it going? Yeah, I'm trying out this a little bit earlier. And it's actually okay. It works for me. I usually work at night. So the morning streams and the midday streams are okay for me. Yeah, we're going to be looking at the Necromancy mod, which I'm excited about. I tested it very, very little, so a lot of this will be new to me as well. I did watch Vox's YouTube video on it, so I have an idea of what it all does. Oh, let me get a light source on here. Let's add some torches. A little bit of a weird thing now that I use Eye of Beholder mod, which is the third-person mod. As you can see, that's my third-person model. And I kind of have to separate myself if I want to just show the character. But yeah, I need it now because of the Wild Shapes mod, which I'm really liking. It uses a lot of Eye of Beholder stuff, I guess, so it's required. But yeah, now I got 2 versions of myself. Hey, what's up, Bang? Hope you're doing well. We're about to show off some of the Necromancy mod stuff. This is actually like 2 or 3 days old now. It's not that new, maybe even 4 days or something. But this will be my first time looking at it, so that'll be cool. I don't know if you guys are big Necromancy fans in your RPGs. It's a class I don't usually play, but I love to see it represented in Daggerfall. And the mod author did something pretty cool. I set up my character here to be a bit of a higher level, because your level actually dictates a decent amount of stuff for this mod. Oh, I should have edited my health as well. But, yeah, the Necromancy actually uses mysticism, not your actual Necromancy skill, which is pretty cool because Necromancy, I think, is only added from the language skills overhaul mod. Nice to see you using the hotkey mod. Can't play without it. Yeah. The reason you didn't see it before is just in my pirate playthrough I wasn't casting any spells. That was actually a restriction for the playthrough to have no magic. So I didn't really need it for the pirate, but for my druid I'm definitely gonna need it. And for this necromancer as well. This necromancer has a ton of spells with this mod. It starts around here. We got reanimate. There's a skeleton. Yeah, just a bunch. I think this is all of them. I don't think I'm going to be getting any more. I think it's pretty cool looking, modern yet classic. Yeah, I like it a lot. And you know what's really cool about it? I like that it supports readied spellcasting hands mod. Because I really love that mod. I love that mod, not just for its presentation, but I just like having a visual like symbol that I have a spell prepped. So I kind of like that. So I can cast like this, for example. Or, yeah, see, it still lets the readied hands come up like this on any kind of like targeted spell, which is nice. I just started Daggerfall like a week ago, so these streams have been so fun for me. That's awesome. Did you get into it or from my streams or from my channel or just on your own? One of the goals of the channel is to try and get more people into Daggerfall, so always makes me happy when my videos can help people. I feel like a lot of people these days kind of played it when they were younger, and now that Unity is getting a lot more popular. I mean, I guess it's been pretty popular, but I just feel like these days a lot of Daggerfall content's doing a little bit better than it maybe used to. So I think a lot of people are returning to try out Unity and all the mod support, which is awesome. Yeah, we got a ton of different spells here. You got Skeleton, Zombie, Ghost, Mummy, Wraith, Vampire, Ancient Vampire. I found you by looking for content. I'm so happy you're keeping the game alive here. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a couple other good Daggerfall YouTubers as well. And the modding scene is really doing the heavy lifting. They're the ones really carrying Daggerfall Unity these days. I think I found some of your mod videos first. Thank you for all the help and info. Oh, man. Makes me happy. I always love hearing that. Makes all the work worth it. Yeah, I put some corpses here for us to make use of. Oh, actually, let me get rid of... I got this stuff still up on OBS, right? Yeah. All right, the countdown is done. We can get rid of the starting soon. And we should be good. All right, so let's take a look at what some of these actually look like. Reanimate is interesting because it's supposed to bring back exactly who died. And I think it has to be a friendly NPC. So I shouldn't be able to spawn these. Yeah, it'll tell me there's no corpse. Let's spawn in some enemies here. Let's do like a knight here. Alright, so I've got some of them hotkeyed here, but I'm just kind of curious. If I use Reanimate, okay, an Ancient Lich arises, and you know what's really cool? You can see here, with your Necromancy, and I guess it's more about your Mysticism skill, when you raise one of these undead creatures, there's actually a small chance that you fail to bring it under your control. So it comes back to life, but it's actually against me right now. Which is really cool. I think the higher tier monsters are harder to control. So this Ancient Lich, one of the strongest enemies in the game, but I can actually use its own corpse to bring up any kind of summon. Let's see if these ones are still active. I brought these corpses, then I turned the game off. Yeah, so I think they're not working. Let's head into the crypt. Oglebat. I personally use Chef's Necromancy. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Chebs. Yeah. How's it going? Chebs, yeah, that's a older mod, right? I think I tried that a very long time ago. I thought it was really good. Let me turn off God mode real quick just so we can see the damage numbers here. Let's kill this guy. Yeah, something I really like about this mod, though, is the message happened fast there, but the way that... I gotta put God mode back on. This character has 2 little health. The way that it works, when I summon this next creature, you can see it really quickly. On the top, there'll be a message. It says, the Lich rises and answers to you, bound 103 out of 367, and your Legion number is 2. So, the total number of points of summoned creatures that I can hold with my Mysticism skill is 360, whatever it said. Okay, so I don't think it's going to be in my... Oh, it is in my messages, yeah. So you can see the Lich rises and answers to you, bound 103 of 367, and then your Legion numbers is 2. So 2 is my actual army count, but the bound here is the points that I have. So I have a maximum of 367 points of summoned creatures, and different creatures have a different point system. So a skeleton might just be worth let's say like 36. It looks like a skeleton was worth 36 with my skill right now, but a lich must have been worth like a little less than 70, right? So it's pretty cool. I could have more skeletons and a higher legion number, or a smaller legion number, but liches, which are more powerful, right? So it's a really cool way of balancing the summons. If it was just a fixed number, like for example, you can have 10 summon creatures. If it was designed like that, then having 10 liches is much better than having 10 skeletons, right? But with this new bound system, I could maybe have like, I don't know, 15 skeletons, but only 6 or 7 liches, right? So you get to choose what kind of army you want, which is really cool. A larger, weaker army, or a smaller, more powerful army, or a mix of both, which is cool too. So I like that design a lot, and I think actually that design is... I've seen it in a few other games. I think Path of Exile uses this for their summoned creatures as well. But yeah, I think it's really good. Was there more corpses over here I could use? Yeah, there was. So we could also test a couple other things here, and then I'll probably spawn some... Let's see what the ghoul looks like. Yeah. The ghoul is straight out of Arena. Whenever I see this creature, it's so funny. Can I talk to them at all? Yeah, I can. So they have the normal language skills overhaul setup here. I guess I could look at their, stats. Backstabbing, Blunt, and Centurion. That's my Lich's primary skills here. Interesting. Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. Zax, this also prevents your summoned skeletons from screaming in your ear all the time, unlike Chebs. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's nice. I've been noticing, I feel like tackling those sound things and mods are more important than ever these days. I feel like the Dragon Rider mod, in my opinion, also kind of suffers from constant sound effects, unfortunately. But what's up, Zax? Hope you're doing well. Now we just need a Necromancy mod that allows you to perform the Lichdom Ritual, yeah. I think this mod also has some really cool extra things that are similar to that, like the Seance. So you can conduct a Seance, and actually we'll have to go to a proper dungeon to test this out. This is really cool, though. Yeah, and can you hear these custom sound effects for the summoned creatures? It's really cool. There's a couple different unique new sounds. It would be cool to, my friends had fun making this undead sounds to him, like, that's awesome. What's up, Vox? Yeah, I'm trying this out for the first time now. I was just talking about, I don't know if you just got into the stream, but I really like this, bound system that you have here. It's also nice that you mentioned the Legion number, but the bound system I feel like is brilliant for any kind of summoned creature build in any kind of RPG. I like that using the bound system, if I want to have like cheaper skeletons, I could have like 15 of them or 12 of them, whatever the number is. But if I want more powerful options, I have a smaller army, like Liches. Lich might be worth like 30 something. I don't know, actually probably more than that, right? Lich was worth like 60 something, and skeletons are like 30-ish. With my specific mysticism skill and stuff, so that's cool. But let's check out a map reveal locations. We're gonna go to a proper dungeon here. Gaming is so good now, there's a constant stream of good Daggerfall mods, and Dark Spire Falls sees weekly updates. That's awesome. Yeah, Dark Spire Falls is gonna be next on my list of games to play, I think. I picked it up the other day, finally. But yeah, Daggerfall's been having an insane amount of new, awesome, high-quality modding content recently. I mean, just in this month alone, in August, but throughout this year in general. Alright, which dungeon do we want to try? I kind of want to go somewhere where there's a lot of human enemies. Laboratory, maybe. A lot of laboratories in Daggerfall region. I don't want to see too many undead. The circle of this. I'll try this one. Looks like we're unwell. Let me save real quick. And I think we have God mode on right now. Yeah, we do. So we could turn that on, and then we'll head somewhere. Castle. Okay, castle is perfect. I actually had a Lich ritual system, but I removed it before launch since I didn't have custom paper dolls for it. I'll release it as its own mod later. Very cool. Yeah, that's sick. Oh, hey, look, the nymph clothing mod actually worked. Now they're not naked, which is really nice for streaming in my YouTube videos. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I love these ghoul models. My Lich just nuked half the team there. So it's cool. Even when in the middle of combat like this, you can, you know, use corpses. Oh, actually, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can't reanimate my own corpses, right? That would probably be a little too strong. But we had 2 dead nymphs here, so let's try out a different creature here. And Vox, I had one of my own summons turn against me, which was an awesome touch. I really like how there is a small chance to fail to actually bring the animated creature, or undead monster, I should say, under your control, which is really cool. Skeleton, zombie, ghost, mummy, wraiths, vampires, ancient vampires, lich, ancient liches. This is skeletal soldier, interesting. Ghouls, faded ghost, that's cool, and a dire ghoul, that's interesting. Let's try the skeleton soldier here. It looks pretty cool. Wow, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Been infatuated with Lich Ritual since Illuminated Order mod for Morrowind. Yeah, that sounds super sick. The no nudity mod saved my life. Yeah, I in the past, every time I would have to run into nymphs, and they're actually a pretty common enemy, especially at lower level. Yeah, I'd have to edit it out of the video. So I can, is there a way I can kill my own minion for mana or health? I think there's something like that. I could be misremembering. We got Corpse Explosion too, which is a classic for Necromancers. Whenever I see a Corpse Explosion spell, I always think of Diablo 2 Necromancers. Yeah, now I just need a better no nudity mod for all of the tavern people. Death Knell, is this it? Is this the one that does that? Consumes the nearest corpse. Oh, okay, so this is for corpses. In range to restore both your health and stamina in one cast, each equal to half that creature type's own typical average health. A bigger corpse restores more. And I really appreciate how in Vox's mod here, every spell has like a proper and detailed description here. So you know exactly what it does. There's plenty of spell mods I've used that don't have any description at all, which I can understand. I know it's not always fun to write that stuff out, but it's nice to have. Helps a lot. Especially when you got the numbers here and stuff like that. Alright, so we got Dismiss Undead, maybe. Volatile. Yeah, this is one of the options too. We can take our own creature here and blow it up. That's cool too. They actually have a chance to resist the spell. That's funny. I actually love how that is, because with Necromancy, there's always like this sense that you're bringing these undead creatures under your control, right? You're sort of like shackling their will to you, kind of like enslaving them, I guess. So they kind of have a chance to resist your attempts to do that kind of stuff. They can turn on you when you summon them, and they have a chance to resist blowing up, which is cool. But yeah, this spell looks like a fireball, but it's actually not a fireball. You have to hit your own summoned creature, then you'll blow it up for fire damage to nearby enemies. Hey Shpan, just want to say I really enjoy your approach to videos. There's a degree of sincere enthusiasm that's a nice reprieve from all the irony these days. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I try to share that passion that I have for this game. I love Daggerfall. And a big part of the channel was trying to get new people into it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to give the Languages Overhaul mod a chance to turn the undead summon back to your side so the Necromancy skill would still do some heavy lifting. Interesting. Yeah, I guess Necromancy is specifically just for Language Skills Overhaul mod, right? So, though it's a very popular mod, so I'm sure many people have it. Hey, dude, I missed it. Yeah. What's up, Valentine? Oh, Valentine. Speaking of which, was it you? I'm not sure if it was you or someone else with another Valentine name, actually. Were you the one that mentioned looking for a hand-to-hand trainer? in this game. Oh yeah, I want to test one more time too. I don't think I can re-summon my own dead creatures. Do a Daedra Summoner class would work as well. I don't know if this... I don't think this mod has any Daedra. It's mostly undead, I think. But could I take my own dead creatures here? No. So I think this is really good for balance. You can't just re-summon the ones that you had summoned and then died. You can't use the corpse twice like that. Oh, hey, Mysterious Fox. I think you got auto. Oh, you said message retracted? Okay, I think you deleted it yourself then. Unfortunately, no, it wasn't me, but I did think it. Okay. Must have transferred to that other Valentine. Yeah, I think someone else has that name. Or a similar name. Not Valentine Puppy, but Alright, so let's just kill some of these and get some corpses going. I'm actually gonna spawn some enemies. I just want to see how this feels. We'll summon a bunch here. We'll use the console command, and let's try out a few different enemies. Let's get a varied army here. Let's get a Lich. Let's get a skeletal warrior. Let's get one zombie. Let's get a ghost. This is so cool. We've only used about half of our allotted bound maximum here, which is really cool. You can't resummon them, but you can drink them or blow up your undead corpses, right? Yeah, exactly. You could use it as a corpse explosion or siphon it for some life, which is cool. Look at this. This is sick. Let's do a vampire as well. Could always use one of those. Must have transferred to the other Valentine. Yeah. With that dragon riding mod, you could totally do a Witch King of Angmar. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so many cool role-playing options that open up with having dragon riding. It's unfortunate that when channels grow, they get so large that it feels like they just actively work to forget the people who love their channels and helped in early days. Yeah, I guess I could see that. If you get big enough, maybe it could change some people. Necromancy for Kids. That is the perfect name for what we're doing today. Welcome. Let's see. What else don't we have here? We could also reanimate a ghoul. I quite like the ghouls, actually. I'm pretty sure this ghoul is taken from Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. It really looks like the arena model that I remember. Though there was a different color one that was kind of purple, I think, or something. I'm not sure what creature that is. So now I want to make use of more corpse explosion. And I forgot, what was my one skill? I think it was not Seance, but Dark Deal. I want to read this again. Strikes a Dark Deal, costs 10% of your maximum health, restores 20% of your maximum magicka. Yeah, so this is kind of like a life tap spell if you're familiar with Warcraft, Warlocks. You consume a little bit of your health and you transfer it to magic, which is super good. There's also the creep in of performativity, like playing to the camera. Yeah, I've definitely seen that a few times. Command Undead is a great spell here since you can use it at the start of a fight to get them fighting immediately. Yeah, I think I had that bound because I realized that was going to be really good. Command Undead brings everyone to your side, I think. Instantly summons every allied undead servant you command to your side. Wherever they currently are, always succeed. So that's cool and an important thing to know here. Yeah, so I think I have that as my 5. You'll see I press 5, they'll kind of teleport right on top of me. Alright, let's just bring our army around here. Wreak havoc on this dungeon here. Oh man, look how cool this is. Oh, looks like he paralyzed this guy. Sheesh. And then, of course, we can siphon this for... Let me turn God mode off. We could always siphon this for health and stamina, I think it is. And even when you siphon a corpse, the loot still remains, which is nice. Command Undead, yeah. The open world battles mod would be fun. Oh, you're right. I had wrote a note that I wanted to go to one of those. We're going to do that as well. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Lives of Banditry events is going to be like the perfect mod for this Necromancy mod. It's going to be so sick. We're going to check that out for sure. Hope when Shpan is balling in a huge mansion, he doesn't forget us. Those of us whom were here early. I don't know if I'll ever be balling in a huge mansion, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you believing me that much. Let's kick this door down. We do a Necromancy now? This is a beatdown? Yeah, this is sick. I usually don't really play Necromancy builds in RPGs. But yeah, this is too cool. Absolutely had to check this mod out. I actually feel like it's working better than Language Skills Overhaul. For me personally, with the way they move and then them not getting like bugged out or anything. And how easy and clean it is to call them to your side. This is really, really nice, actually. If you guys haven't tried it out, it's very responsive. I'm curious about your thoughts on something. In the beginner mod list in the Daggerfall Unity Discord, they don't include travel options, since supposedly it has a tendency to soft lock the main quest. What do you think? That's really interesting. I have not heard of travel options soft locking the main quests before, and it's definitely never happened to me. Yeah, that's really weird. I feel like even for beginners, and I've mentioned this before, but I always kind of think of Daggerfall as one of those games where even just a few key mods can really elevate the experience. And I see travel options as one of those mods where new players should at least try it, in my opinion. Even though maybe it won't be for everyone, though I think most people will enjoy it. I do feel like it's something everyone should try out because it's one of the few mods that actually lets you explore this world, you know? Of course, you want other mods to help support that, but yeah, I feel like it's one of the few mods that actually gives you like a reasonable and practical way to explore the world of Daggerfall. So I always recommend it. I always put it on like my mod list for beginners and stuff, or some of the most important mods in my list. But that's really interesting. I did not know it could soft lock the main quest. And I used travel options in my very first playthrough when this guy got paralyzed here. I used travel options in my very first playthrough, which I did run through the entire main quest on. But yeah, I know that just because it didn't happen to me, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. But yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that before. Neither do I. I prefer sword and shield. Yeah. Yeah, for Daggerfall, I tend to prefer martial classes. For other RPGs, I like playing a druid type of build. So I can cast, you can see my magic bar right now. If I cast my spell, I forgot what it's called here, but I'll consume a little bit of my health and I'll restore a bunch of mana. So it's really, really nice. This is hilarious. This is an ancient lich. Yeah, it is. That's why he's so hard to hit. Your little crew looks so good. Yeah. It's really awesome. It happened to me once, but it's rare. I don't really think it's an issue. Interesting. So it did happen to you. I see. And I could take this corpse here and consume it and get a bunch of health back and a bunch of stamina back. That's really cool. The lack of travel options seemed like a pretty glaring omission. They said it's more suited for sandbox playthroughs than main quest runs. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would still recommend travel options to new players, personally. Yeah, I just feel like I couldn't give up how much I love traveling in this game in general. From the atmosphere, to the music, to actually being able to experience the world and take a look at it. Yeah, I would still recommend it. Though, I guess if you really just want to do the main quest, and that's all you care about, and you're worried about that kind of thing, I wonder if like keeping multiple saves could help you too. I don't know. But yeah, missing travel options would be sad, I think, in my opinion. I do believe in you, Shpan. While I do, it comes with no pressure to perform or succeed. When you do, I celebrate it. You don't have to, but I enjoy your content and your cozy way of doing it. Thanks, Valentine. Yeah, I've enjoyed too. I mean, as long as I am having fun with the videos, I'm going to keep making them. These days, I've been having a lot of fun with the live stream, so I've been doing that a lot more often. But because of that, I have been making a little bit less videos probably, and I'm making less progress on the video ideas I have, but I'm enjoying the live stream. So for now, I've been doing them. And I actually feel like, in a weird way, I don't know, maybe you guys agree or don't agree, but I feel like the live streams are actually a really good way for me to showcase mods. And it might actually be better than my videos that do mod showcases, just because I can spend a lot more time detailing the very specific... This is an ancient vampire, right? Yeah. Like all the little intricacies that are kind of hard to do in a long form video. And because I'm playing while I'm doing it, just some more organic and emergent stuff can happen that might be interesting to look at. So, oh, that was interesting. I think he timed out, maybe. Let's get another skeleton here, if we can. Let me catch up on chat here. Travel options allows me to live out my medieval ranger fantasies. Yeah, there's so much role playing support that it provides. Yeah, it's just super useful for like, oh, this is interesting. This is a dead end, but a little crouch hop area. But yeah, it really supports a lot of cool role playing concepts as well. I just want to triangulate that room for a day. Goddamn. To be honest, in games like these, how many runs actually finish the game? If I get soft locked, how much does it really matter? Yeah, that's what I mentioned too, actually. You know, I say the same thing about my permadeath runs. Because I've had people mention like, oh, you're crazy for doing permadeath runs. You know, don't you feel bad if you're like 20 hours in, 30 hours in, and your character dies? And actually, no, I don't at all, actually. It really doesn't bother me when a run ends. It's just the character's story has ended there, and I move on to a new concept. But yeah, if I got like soft locked in Daggerfall, it really wouldn't bother me personally that much. But I mean, I know it's not fun for everyone. Not everyone thinks that way. But for me personally, it's not too big of a deal. Though I've never been soft locked because I think Daggerfall Unity is really stable. And that's coming from someone who constantly does things that I probably shouldn't. Oh, we got just chunked by that guy. Like, I'll add mods and drop mods all the time in the middle of a playthrough. But yeah. For me personally, I always try to finish the main quest. Oh yeah, do you? That's interesting. I have not revisited the main quest since I first played it over a year ago now. We're going to try out a farm raid here. I use the console command to kind of make this character. That's why my health is super low, even though my level's high. So that could be a problem. Let's get some rates here. Oh yeah, these guys look sick. We'll do a quick save as well, because we got a new army here. That's interesting, you always do the main quest. I might need to triangulate that room for this video. The crypt that I'm in here, you think? Just do whatever you enjoy most. We'll watch. Thanks, Blooming. I appreciate it. And welcome to the stream. I think that's your first message today. Hope you've been good. I'm cultured, so I always side with Gothrid. Nice. I really don't even remember the contents of the story that well, which is kind of sad. That is one reason I might revisit it someday, just because I don't remember the story that well. I did watch a video a long time ago explaining the warp in the West. Let me just type in farm here and see if we can get one. It should trigger immediately. Actually, I think I want a different army than this, though. Let's get a full army for this farm raid. We'll have a massive battle in front of us. And let me kill these guys so that my minions don't take damage. What else do we want? We want one vampire, I think. We got 2 skeletal warriors. We got 2 wraiths. Let's get 1 zombie. Can I afford an ancient lich? That's an ancient vampire. That's an ancient lich. Oh, he turned against me. Yeah, there's a chance when you bring up your army here that they will not fall under your control, which I think is awesome. He's killing my whole army here. Let me kill him. Let me catch up on chat too here real quick. I'm so bad at reading chat and playing at the same time. Of course, I'm cultured. Yeah, they are both great. I do like them. I'm old though, so love them both. Gotcha. I haven't started the main quest yet. I've just been doing Bard's Guild and singing horribly and getting tomatoes thrown at me. Yeah, I haven't done too much of the Bard's Guild in any of my playthroughs. I did it a little bit, and I think I covered it in a video once, but the Bard's Guild is sick. I love how you can go to different taverns to perform, but I heard also in the Bard's Guild that as you get more reputation in the guild, you could actually be invited to castles to do performances for like lords and kings, I've heard. So that's pretty cool. I've never completed the main quest. I always end up running off to do my own thing. Yeah. I intentionally designed my playthroughs to do my own thing now. I haven't revisited it in a long time. What's up, Eric? Sometimes I have more fun creating / starting characters than playing through the game. Yeah. I could sometimes get like choice paralysis where I just kind of want to play everything. I'm living vicariously through you, so you tell me. Oh, gotcha. Gothard killed his own father because his father was scum. He and Woodbourne were allies, so he had to kill Woodbourne. Yeah, I wish I could remember the story stuff well enough. Going back to work, I'll watch a video after. Thank you for showcasing the mod. No problem, Vox. See you next time. Might be a bit different from your more mechanic-focused videos, but a retrospective on the Daggerfall main quest could be fun. It might get a good amount of views. Yeah, I've thought about it before, actually. I think it is a cool idea. I've also thought about doing a Let's Play for the main quest, and part of why that could be cool is we could all experience the story together. It would be a really good refresher for me. And a lot of people have trouble, following the maps of the main story because the main story dungeons are just really, really crazy, some of them. So it kind of could have a couple different purposes that could be cool. One, I get to re-experience a story that I'm interested in. We all get to see the story together. And then also, those that need help traversing through the dungeons would have my entire playthrough to look at if they needed to, which could be cool. But yeah, actual retrospective on the story itself could be cool. There have been some other really good videos out there that have already done that. I feel like it'd be hard for me to add more to that conversation. Not directly, but he was one of the main reasons that Lysandus got killed. Gotcha. Can you make the earth devour you so you may be reborn? There are some nature spell mods. I don't think you can have the earth devour you, though. I always do Mage's Guild, Fighter's Guild, Knights of the Dragon. Yeah, I quite like the Fighter's Guild. I've done that a decent amount, especially on a few, early game, I like Fighter's Guild. That'd be great if I could sing better. I love the free armor you get with your promotion. It's helpful. Oh, nice. Oh, I didn't even realize that's what they gave you. Yeah, I guess every faction has its own rank up rewards, right? Let me get one Lich in here. We'll let this guy... Look at this guy's backpedal speed. He's super fast. All right, we'll do one Lich here. We actually have room for more, though, so I might as well get a full army for the big battle. What else do we want? I think we want a ghoul. And maybe one more vampire. All right, I think we're maxed, basically, so let's head over to a farm. This is going to be crazy. Yes, the hand-to-hand monk completely unable to use magic playthrough of the main quest. Yeah, that's cool. I still have not done a proper monk hand-to-hand playthrough. But I quite like the hand-to-hand animations. I really like the roundhouse animation in this game. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I really should do a monk. I'd love to experience the story together in a Let's Play. That could be really fun. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And I've kind of been meaning to revisit it, especially because more and more I get comments of people referencing the main quest, and I'm just like, I totally don't know what's going on. Which I should have a better memory of it, but I don't think I was paying close attention, to be honest. I should have been paying better attention to it. Inability to regen spell points, unable to use magic in day and night. You can add more by listening to my mad ideas. Yeah. Yeah, if you're going a no magic build, you can really take advantage of the disadvantage system and have really crazy XP growth rate. Yeah, sounds like a great idea, and these ideas could feed into each other, footage from the Let's Play into the review/retrospective, and so on. Yeah, absolutely. It's nice when clips like that can actually be used in multiple videos like that. It's actually really helpful, especially when I can also turn those into shorts, and then the shorts can get some traction, and it redirects people to the main video. It's really nice. Mr. Samuel Adam, how's it going? I never finished any of the Elder Scrolls games. I just do my own thing with mods. Fallout games I'm likely to finish for some weird reason. Yeah, I do tend to visit them or finish them at least once, but I don't usually go back after finishing it once. Yeah, but I haven't finished many. I've only finished Daggerfall and Skyrim. Oblivion I played very briefly. Morrowind I also played briefly, but I was enjoying Morrowind a lot. I just got sidetracked. Mage's Guild for the taxi service? Yeah, pretty good benefits. Temples have good benefits too. I like the potion crafting. If you don't have roleplay and realism items mod, it's one of the best ways to get potions. I'm also in Knights of the Dragon and get free tavern stays. So my little tone-deaf Breton lives a nice life. Nice. Yeah, I also have not done too many of the nightly orders, actually. I was actually intending to do some nightly orders for Mara Temple, but Daggerfall actually does not have a Marin Temple nightly order, I think. I don't think so, at least. It looks like they don't. You might want to take a look at the video style of someone like Warlockry or Curse Farms, simultaneously Let's Play and review of sorts. Very fun combination. Interesting. Yeah. I probably would be talking like a decent amount in those Let's Plays about sort of how I'm feeling about the story itself. Maybe at the end of each episode, it could be cool to do like a little closing thoughts or review of what we had done in the main quest at that point. It's interesting. I'm really not sure how I would set up the episodes if I did that. I'm going to write this idea down in my notepad, though. I have a notepad page for all my future video ideas. John Halo, how's it going? Loving these streams, dude. What on earth is happening with Daggerfall modding right now? So many mods at the same time. Looks like a survival mod just dropped now. Golden Age of Daggerfall. Yeah, absolutely. I just saw the new survival mod this morning, and I think this is really nice, actually, because it's good. Climate and Calories is sort of the go-to survival mod, and I do think it's a great mod. It's just that the one common complaint you'll have for Climate and Calories from a lot of people is it's not very... there's not a lot of customizability options for the player. And because it changes so many different things, you're forced to have all of it in your playthrough. And if it was just even like slightly customizable, then I think people would really be using Climate and Calories more often. But it's not. So it's kind of cool to have this new survival mod option that is doing its own thing, has its own interpretation of how a survival mod could look in Daggerfall. And I think it's more focused on... Oh, hey, we got this guy here. He's still alive. It's more focused on like the hunger and feeding rather than Climate and Calories has a pretty intense focus on like weather conditions, where if you're wet, you could take, you can get sick, and if you're too cold, you got to put on a cloak or cover your head in the rain. There's a lot of stuff like that. If it's too hot, you got to take clothing off. So I think it's cool to have a new survival mod. I'm definitely going to check that one out. I just saw it this morning, though. It was a little too late with the stream for me to also download that and try it out. So do these minions have a time to them? If I fast travel with them, am I going to lose them? And I think I might have done something. Oh, I can hear the guy shooting. Thought I thought one of my minions was being tracked as a Alright, let's do this. Get one more lich. And I keep talking, but let's go to the farm now, finally. So this is going to be cool. We're going to try out like a large-scale battle with all of my minions. We'll see how this goes. Oh, I need God mode on because I'm sick. I don't want to die mid-travel after setting up this whole army here. Some competition in the survival mod space is always welcome. We'll always love Climate and Calories, but I'm curious to see other mods take on this. Yeah, me too. I like Climate and Calories. I don't use it too often because I don't usually prefer the survival mechanics. And if I did like them, I would want to narrow the scope. Kind of just focus on resting, changes, and feeding stuff would be cool. But I do like the idea of a mod that sort of changes how resting works in Daggerfall. I do feel like base Daggerfall has a very generous rest system. All right, let's see this here. Orcs have begun raiding the farm. Okay, so we got a different kind of fight here. We got an orc set up. This won't be too big then, actually. Because, man, look at my ghost there. It's actually kind of hard to get used to all of the, like, hotkeys and options that I have now. I can blow up these corpses. Wow, I think my bloom effects are too strong right now. Let me lower the bloom effect. It's a little bit too powerful. Yeah, the orc raid is going to be a lot smaller, so we're going to try this again with a proper... That's just sick, though. This is finally, like... This is the necromancy mod everyone was waiting for, I think. Do more show up? Yeah, I think a couple will show up, but orcs are kind of stronger enemies, so I think this mod was balanced to only spawn like a few of them, not too many. Still really cool, though. And now we can use these corpses to summon some new stuff here. Let's get whatever that is. We'll get another ghoul here. Another vampire, maybe. I seriously do think you should get an OP magic immune hand-to-hand build that punches everyone to death. Yeah, I mean, that'd be sick. Climate cows can simultaneously be too in-depth in some areas and still too simplified, if you get me. Yeah, I could see that. I do think if it just had those customizability options, everyone could just fine-tune it the way they like, which would just be really nice for everyone. But I know that stuff's not easy to design or code. I'm not saying that as some kind of criticism to the mod author or anything like that. I'm just saying, yeah, it's got a lot of changes. So for some people, they might love some of the things and not love some of the other options there. Internet is acting weird today. I can notice certain pages are not loading and stuff. Anyone else notice this? Not for me personally, but at least not today. It's been okay for me. For the Horde. You could structure the smaller episodes after each Let's Play like a campaign diary, using your playthrough to gather your thoughts as you go. It could be interesting to compare at the end. Yeah, something like that could be cool. I was actually considering something similar when I was going to do my own custom playthrough with the Lore Keeper option, but the Lore Keeper lost the poll. But yeah, I was thinking of potentially doing something like that as well. Looks like we still got an enemy nearby here. One last orc. I think these animations look really, really nice. I feel like Vox thought of everything, you know. The loot pile still remains even when you resurrect the corpse. It functions really cleanly. You got the command option to bring them right to your side whenever you need to. There's a huge amount of different options and some really cool things, like Death Knell is also a cool one. Siphoning a corpse for health. Let's try to summon another farm attack here. I don't know if enough time will pass to spawn the next farm fight here, though. But, yeah. See, we try to help you. Thanks for the suggestions, everyone. Well done. Yeah, I always love... that's kind of what I'm enjoying about the streams as well. It was really nice in the beginning when I was trying to figure out the exact things I wanted to do for the Druid playthrough, and we all... You know, all your advice really helped, because I chose a region based on some of your options there. Alright, so we did get a proper fight here. If I can remember the keybinds, then we can do some cool stuff mid-fight here. Let's join... We're going to join the bandits because we're a necromancer. I don't think the knights would want to side with us. Alright, let's get into this. So I can summon stuff mid-fight here. I'm trying to think of all my options. I can blow up corpses. And I'm not going to do my own fighting. I'm just going to let the Horde do their own thing. This is already insane. Alright, so as they die, I can summon more. I can blow up these corpses and do some fire damage to my enemies. Let's get a bunch more skeletons going. If I need the health, I can always do a life tap, which is cool. Oh man, this is crazy. Let's do some more corpse explosions here. Cool thing is the corpse explosions will not hit your own summoned creatures, which is nice. Oh man, look at this. This is just so chaotic. I love it. Let's get a Lich going here. Do you wish to surrender the city guards? No, we're fighting this out. Absolute insanity. Get all my low health skeletons. This is the first time I've seen a little bit of lag in this mode just because I'm creating an insane army here. Let's get some Liches up. Let's get this big guy. The Dire Ghoul. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to bring them to my side. Oh yeah, that's sick. I think the Dire Ghoul is also an Elder Scrolls Arena model. Just look at this. This is one of my Lives of Banditry. I love it so much because it's one of the few ways in Daggerfall to actually have a proper large-scale battle. It's something that was obviously always missing from the original vanilla version, of course, but there's still very few mods that give you this type of experience, especially on the outside world map, you know, not inside a dungeon. All right, let me catch up on chat here. Crazy. Daggerfall farmers have it rough? Yeah. Especially in my playthroughs. Never farm in the Iliac Bay. Lesson learned. How do you feel about this mod for someone who hasn't really played the game? Seems super cool, and I love playing Necromancers, but it's pretty divergent from the core game. Yeah, it's very divergent. I mean, there's nothing quite like this in any of the pre-made classes. And even the closest thing I guess someone could argue is like the pacification language skills. But even those function a lot differently than the way I even use language skills with the language skill overhaul mod. So this is one of those mods that, yeah, if you're someone that doesn't care too much about the vanilla experience on your first playthrough, then it would be okay, of course. Everyone's going to have a different like threshold of what's changing too much for their very first playthrough. I probably would not do a Necromancer build on my very first playthrough of the game, just because this is totally different and its own thing. But yeah. Yeah, it's extremely divergent for sure from the core game. It's Warcraft 3 again? Yeah. We got Undead versus Human Faction. Good to the wider community all hanging out in the vibe? Yeah, for sure. What's up, Dubious? How's it going? Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm really loving the live streams. It's cool to be able to see everyone hang out, chat about Daggerfall or other RPGs that we enjoy, and just chill. I still got the guards on me because I probably attacked an NPC during this farm fight, so they're probably going to keep spawning in, which is kind of funny. The one thing about this mod also is that it really injects a huge amount of wealth into your playthrough. You can see there's so many corpses here. One farm battle will give you just tens of thousands of gold, potentially, of things to sell. So if you are doing your very first playthrough, and if you don't want to cheese out the wealth system with like a bank stealing or loan stealing, that kind of stuff, then yeah, this is another way to really inject a huge amount of wealth. So that would also massively change the playthrough. But even just for winning the fight, you get like 9,000 gold. But if you loot every single corpse, you know, there's like 50 plus enemies that died in this fight here. So you would have a crazy amount of things that you could sell. As long as you had your wagon on you, you could probably fit it all as well. But man, that was sick. I'm going to make a short of that fight. I might choose a location that was a little bit less laggy. I think there's probably mountains in this region. That might be why it lagged a little bit. It could also just be I had too many actors on screen here. But yeah, this is very cool. It's kind of a shame I can't really turn God mode off because I built this character with the console command I don't really have a normal level 16 character. But since I set the level to 16, I didn't level up normally, so my max health is level 53 right now. Which is super silly, of course. Get like 2 shot by enemies. But that's okay, we're just testing out the mod anyway. But yeah, I feel like it looks good. And it's really was thoughtful of Vox to change the sound on these skeletons, because as iconic as the skeleton sound is, and it's one of my favorite sounds in Daggerfall, and all of gaming in general, I feel like it's just super iconic. But if you had like 6 skeletons all making that noise, that would be absolutely crazy. My first build was primaries, long blade, destruction, and restoration. Majors were critical strike, dodging, and hand-to-hand. Minors, alteration, mercantile, and then I put whatever. That's also the build I usually use. It's just so fire. Nice. Long blade, destruction, and restoration. It's kind of like a spell blade of some kind, I would guess. Maybe that's how you play it. You play any more Might and Magic 7? I've not yet. I'm definitely going to get back to it this year at some point. I had someone else just talking to me about Might and Magic the other day recently, too. And they wanted to do a similar mod from Might and Magic for another thing with Daggerfall. I forgot what they were saying. It sounded interesting. But you know how there's that mod that combines Might and Magic 6, 7, and 8? He wants to do something like that for Daggerfall, but I forgot with exactly what. Yeah, it's good vibes. I'll have to play Daggerfall again soon. I guess your older mod lists are still pretty relevant, right? Yeah, I'd say most of them are pretty relevant. The only thing is, rather than mods I've taken out, it's just missing some mods that I've added since then. So I've added a lot of mods this year. And that's just because so many good mods have released this year. It's been crazy. It's almost like I should do a mid-year update. But because usually I do like my big entire mod list videos once a year. And that's partly just because it's an insane amount of work for me to match all the footage, edit everything, and do that all. But yeah, I could think about that. Maybe doing an updated mid-year mod list. I've added so much since then. And I get asked a lot about my full mod list too, so yeah, that might be a good idea to think about at some point. Yeah, the Daggerfall music is so grand. Also, Skeleton Raw is perfect. Oh yeah, it's absolutely extremely iconic. I was doing like a tier list of different enemies for a video a while back, and I was thinking, man, once I get to the undead enemies, like the skeleton just by sound effect alone is like an S tier. I feel like everyone has nostalgic memories of getting wrecked by the first Skeleton Warrior in Privateer's Hold. Do you have a mod list published somewhere, either as a Nexus collection or just a list one can follow? I actually have not done a full Nexus mod pack collection thing. I'm not actually sure how to do that. And one of the issues I thought about was in my full mod list, I have a lot of mods that I don't keep active for every playthrough. Some of them might not work perfectly together, so if I just drop the entire list without any context for, you know, sometimes I don't have, like this is Eye of the Beholder, which gives you third-person view. I don't always use this mod, but I have it on specifically for mods that require it, like, do I have it here? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't have it here, but for any of my shapeshifting mods, it requires it. Otherwise, I wouldn't use it. So it's just kind of interesting. There's some things to think about there. So I never did a mod pack. I could look into it, though. I've had other people ask me about it. There is a list, though, just based on that one video I made. I made a video, I think it's called something like Every Daggerfall Mod You Need in 2026. I can't think of the exact title. But that's kind of old now. That's like 4 months old now. So, although that's probably my most up-to-date one, it's a little bit not fully updated. I've added a lot of new stuff since then. But yeah, I need the Eye of the Beholder for this bear form mod. And that's the only reason I have it. But yeah, this lets me turn to a bear. We'll be using this in my Druid playthrough coming up. But yeah, otherwise, this wouldn't really do anything, right? So it's kind of weird. I have some mods like that where I'm not sure how to perfectly designed my mod pack. Hello everyone, hey Leo, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We're just looking at some of the new Necromancer mod stuff. Man, the sailing, the dragons, the NPCs, it's been tasty year for modding. Morrowind is absolutely popping off too. Oh yeah, is it? Yeah, I'm excited to get into Morrowind just so I can actually check out the modding scene as well. And it'd be fun to compare it to Daggerfall, see what kind of mods you guys like over there. I played like 10 hours of Morrowind and I was really enjoying it. I just kind of fell out of it. And I think also just partly because I'm doing so much content for Daggerfall these days, it's been a little bit hard for me to use my free time for other games at the moment. But once I get my August mod showcase video done, and I get a couple episodes into the new Druid playthrough, then we're going to start looking at Morrowind. We're going to look at Morrowind, we're going to look at Devilspire Falls, and then I'm also going to play a little Neverwinter Nights, but I might not do content for Neverwinter Nights. That might just be for myself off-screen. But yeah, you could probably get some help from others in the modding community to put it together. I don't know much about the process, unfortunately. Maybe there's a way to separate optional mods. Oh, that's a good point. There probably is a way to separate optional mods. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I bet there would be, though, because I'm sure other mod authors would have thought of this. Or I guess people that are making mod packs like this. Yeah, it probably isn't even too confusing. I just honestly haven't even looked at it, but yeah, I really should. That would make it really easy. I could put it somewhere on my Mage, like YouTube page, one of my links on just the actual profile page, not even attached to a video necessarily, and then everyone could just see that link. I could just bring everyone to that link when they ask me. And I could also update it in real time a lot easier if I was doing that. It was looking like Wayward Realms was taking a bunch of the modders for volunteer work a year or two ago, but now modding is picking back up again. That's really interesting. Wow. Do you know... Oh, I don't know. I don't want to call anyone out, but do you know any of the modders maybe that have made it public themselves that they were working on Wayward Realms or helping? That's very cool. Yeah, I think some of the bigger modders took a break during like July, but August has been really cool. Well, I'm off. See ya. Hey, see you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I hope to God Wayward Realms goes somewhere, but it's looking very shaky. Yeah, I've actually not really been following it that closely, to be honest, anymore. In the beginning, I was following it a lot, and I'm still hoping it does well. Of course, I'm rooting for it all the way. But yeah, I know they update pretty often too. It looks like they're really active on their like YouTube page in general. But I just haven't really been following it very closely at the moment. As it gets like more gameplay stuff released and they show more, I'll definitely get back into checking it out again. I have covered like one video. I think I did 2 videos on the Wayward Realms on my channel at one point, just briefly talking about some concepts. Let's go with the Wraith here. I want it to succeed, though. I would love for another Daggerfall spiritual successor to actually do very well. It'd be awesome. Yeah, Wayward Realms has so much potential. I hope they stick it out. I think they have their heads on the right way. The new engine can do a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really looked at... I know they changed to... I think they changed to, like, Unreal Engine. Is that right? Or did they make their own engine and they turned away from Unreal? Stream's buffering? Is it? Let me check my OBS real quick here. Let's see if I'm losing any frames. I definitely might be. Let's see. I might have missed it. I might have been dropping frames. I think it looks okay right now, maybe. Yeah, I was dropping frames a couple streams ago as well. Is this guy against me right now? Yeah, he is. Oh, man. I think I lost control over one of my liches. It's really cool that that can happen with this mod. I love that. Wish list and forget. Has so much potential. Yeah. Yeah, right now I have on my wish list. I'll pop in every now and then and check out what they're doing, but they're posting a lot of stuff, and I don't think they've really posted a lot of like new gameplay in a little bit. So once the next like gameplay stuff gets updated, I'll definitely check it out again. But yeah, I hope it does well. I mean, there is not many games that you could consider like a proper spiritual successor. Though I guess the more I'm hearing about Devilspire Falls, the more I'm thinking that has a lot of Daggerfall inspiration. And I guess some people could consider that some form of a spiritual successor to Daggerfall. I have yet to play it myself, though. It's just what I've heard from other people. Looks good to you? Okay, thanks, yeah. Yeah, definitely possible I was dropping some frames a little bit there. They changed from Unreal to a really cool sort of indie engine that has amazing magic/physics possibilities. Interesting. But it's an issue of not having much experience with it and trying to hold on to staff. Gotcha. Yeah, I know they had some really unfortunate leadership position pass away. That's extremely tragic and extremely sad. Yeah. I hope they can, you know, find a way to bounce back on that kind of really sad loss like that. And I know that they've been like super busy because I constantly see updates from them. You know, I constantly see them engaging with the YouTube channel and stuff. So yeah, I forget the modder's name who was talking about it. I just remember him being one of the better modders that stuck around when things were slowing down. He posts on a forum. I lurk sometimes. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, one of the modders that was working on Wayward Realms. That's really cool. It's really awesome to see them reaching out to Daggerfall community members. And actually, on my very first video for Wayward Realms, they stopped by my video, they commented, and I was a much smaller YouTuber back then. I mean, I'm still a small YouTuber, but I was much, much smaller back then. I think I had like 900 subscribers maybe or something like that. Not a lot. So, yeah, they stopped by and they were answering a lot of questions in the chat. It was very cool to see. It was nice. Old Knight made a video on it that didn't paint a good picture, but he can also be rather opinionated, although that's also something I appreciate. Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, I know Old Knight makes a lot of good Daggerfall content, right? Yeah, I don't think I saw his video on Wayward Realms. I should check that out, actually. Is it just because kind of they're stuck in like a development limbo, you think? Was that the main issue, maybe? Devilspire Falls is super jank, but still fun. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. I actually picked it up. I finally bought it because everyone was talking about it in my chat and telling me I should try it out, so. All right, let's bring up a Reanimate Dire Ghoul. This should be really strong. Let's see if we can beat the Ancient Lich here. We'll watch this little one-on-one Mortal Kombat here. Winner becomes my lieutenant in my undead arm. Ooh, wow. Okay. Got wrecked. This guy's turned on me. Let's kill him real quick. Oh, I think my game just crashed. That's all right. We'll get right back into it. Devilspire Falls guy updates the game with new content almost every week. Wow, that is pretty frequent, honestly. That's really cool. Is Devilspire Falls, is it kind of like you open up a like you start a new character and it's like an open world kind of situation? Or is it more like a set narrative and it's less sandboxy? Devilspire Falls guy updates the game with new content. Oh yeah, almost every week, yeah. Praise Julianos, yeah. Rest in peace. It's really sad to hear about that. Wishing the whole, you know, studio, all of his family, the best. I prefer his art from the first game, but he seems to be able to work faster with 3D art. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, is there a second one then? Devilspire Falls 2, you're saying? Or am I misreading that? What gives me hope Wayward Realms isn't a scam is that Julian and Ted are the OG devs from Daggerfall, and with how much passion Julian talked about Daggerfall before he passed away too early, they'll want to do him proud. Yeah, I think so too. And with the way that they engage with the community, my feeling is not that this is some kind of scam thing going on. That's just not the vibe I get at the moment. But, you know, I'm not someone that's following it very closely. I haven't watched Old Knight's video on it, so I just, you know, I don't know that much. I don't want to speak too assuredly, I guess. I don't want to speak with any kind of authority over the situation or even understanding of it. I've not been following it that close. That's the truth from me. Development in limbo is one thing, but also somewhat deceptive marketing and communication, and a lot of contradictory information. According to him, we basically don't really know the game at the moment. Interesting. Yeah, I will say that the original look that the game had, I guess, is completely lost right now, right? Because that's a completely different engine, I guess, they're rebuilding. And I saw some other thing a long time ago, and it looked... Visually, it just looked a lot worse at the moment. But that's also because it was a lot more, you know, in the early stages. What they had, I guess, from Unreal Engine 5 when they were using that was a lot more developed. I guess there's also a lot of like basic assets you could probably use, right, for Unreal Engine 5 that come with it. But I did see like a landscape. It's like very brief, and this was probably a few months ago now. Probably like 2 or 3 months ago with the newest engine. And visually, I didn't love the aesthetic, but I know it's like in development still. So they probably wanted to show something because even if it wasn't nearly complete, just because, you know, they want to make sure they're getting some content out to show people so everyone can, you know, feel like the project's still going well, getting some updates and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe I should actually take a look, you know, like a closer look at what the Wayward Realms has been doing recently. I might also do another video on it at some point. Once they can release like their newest trailer that has some combat, that shows like some factions, some new NPCs, some voice dialogue, some cities or towns, I'll be really excited to take a look at it. But yeah, I know people have mixed opinions right now, but I will check out Old Knight's video. Yeah, thanks for recommending that. I kind of want to get someone's opinion on how the project's been going recently. But that doesn't mean the team aren't heavily disorganized and strapped for cash. Yeah, gotcha. Makes sense. More sandbox. First is a roguelike dungeon crawler called Devil Spire. Oh, okay. So Devil Spire Falls is the sequel. Devil Spire was the first one. Oh, I didn't know that there was another game like that. It's interesting. Devil Spire Falls is 100% sandbox, randomly, procedurally, whatever generated worlds. Nice. Yeah, sounds like more of a focused Daggerfall to give you specifically that kind of role-playing sandbox freedom. And I heard the build variety is really, really good in that game, so that's kind of exciting too. The build variety is pretty good in Daggerfall, I would say. Not like amazing, but I think it's pretty good. I think the disadvantage and advantage system really helps with build variety in Daggerfall. But yeah, I think a lot more could be possible in Daggerfall if they, if someone kind of was able to revamp the skill system a little bit, and maybe add more advantages and more disadvantages. They just need to show some actual gameplay so people know it's real. Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, hopefully soon something like that could be shown, because it would be really exciting for everyone. It would inject so much new excitement and all that. So yeah, I'd love to see that. All right, let's do one more farm battle. We got another army here. I don't like that it lets you raise liches. That doesn't fit with the lore as far as I understand it. Interesting. What about the lore should restrict that? I'm not too familiar with Elder Scrolls lore on that kind of stuff. Wow, this mod is awesome. Hey, what's up, Composer? Yeah, this is really, really cool. And it's very recent. It just came out this week, I'm pretty sure. So we're checking it out for the first time. Let's actually choose a different farm that's kind of south here. Maybe it won't be snowing. But yeah, you can raise a whole different kind of army. It's got a really thoughtful max like capacity system. It's really, really nice. This farm might be near the shore. That'd be kind of a little cool backdrop for us. All right, looks like we got a little battle here. We're going to join the bandits. All right, let's see what happens. It's kind of hard for me to like keep all of my keybinds in mind here, weirdly enough. Just because there's so much I can do. I can do corpse explosion, I can feed on the corpses, I can raise liches and undead here. I'm just gonna let my army go at it though. Who's casting spells like that and nuking half the field? That's my lich, I guess. Man, this is just beautiful though. I love the large-scale battles of Daggerfall, how they look. Got a little fight off on the side here. It would be really cool. And maybe this is me being a little greedy, but it would be cool if you can turn off one side of the faction fight for this mod. So like, let's say that it's bandits versus knights, and I turn off the knights, and then I could just let my army, my undead army alone, fight the faction. No other NPCs supporting me. That'd be really cool, I think. And then we can blow these up here, which is cool. Oh, I can also... Let's try this as well. One sec. Let me catch up on chat, then I'll check this out. Well, normally a powerful living wizard undergoes a process to become a lich. Gotcha. Yeah, doesn't that have something to do with, like, phylacteries or something like that? Where you can't kill the lich unless you kill its soul that's put in some kind of object. I think Dungeons & Dragons uses, like, a similar system like that, too. One of these spells lets you blow up... Yeah, Volatile Undead. Oh, that's the one I was using. I wasn't using Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion's this one. Okay, gotcha. Now I see. This will just blow up some of the corpses, do fire damage to nearby enemies. But then I can summon more with this. But this one lets me blow up my own minion. And that'll do like a huge AoE fire explosion as well. Which is pretty sick. It looks like a fireball, but alone it actually doesn't damage any enemy. It has to hit my own allies to blow them up. Corpse Explosion's more my style, though. Alright, let's get a bunch of skeletons going. I always like having support spells for a Necromancer, things like Corpse Explosion, where you can be active while your summons are still doing most of the work. You don't have to resort to, like, melee or something like that. I've got a massive army right now. Holy crap. But you see the other faction, the other side, because I have my army plus them, it's so hard for us to have, like, a fair fight here. But it would be cool if there was a way to turn off the other faction. You ever see the videos of video game enemies/armies fighting each other? Those who would win videos seem to be good on shorts. Yeah, those are really cool. I like those, actually. I've seen those not just with armies, but also like specific NPCs. It's a pretty cool concept for sure. Evening. Hey, what's up, Kana? How's it going? Hope you've been well. Denture Adventure. What's up? Necrobuild's good with mod? Yeah, it feels really good. And it feels really strong, of course. But I'm also kind of, I'm showing you like an endgame build here. I actually think this mod is going to feel not that strong early on. You're going to have a low spell point pool. It's going to be hard to keep your minions under your control because it's based off your mysticism skill, which is going to be lower. And you're going to be weak with your martial skills, most likely, since you're focusing on magic stuff. But endgame, yeah. At the late stages, this is going to be a crazy power fantasy, being the Necromancer. Which is kind of cool, actually. You're slowly building up a really dangerous type of magic. Dangerous for both the caster to control, and dangerous for everyone else, of course, your enemies. So it kind of makes sense that early on it would be difficult. But yeah, this Corpse Explosion, you can see, I just press it. You don't even have to target. It'll find a nearby corpse and explode it. Kind of hear the sound. It'll search one out in range, which is really cool. But yeah, I think it's pretty strong, actually, in the mid to late game. And I guess it's expensive. It's kind of an expensive build to get going. You'll need a decent amount of wealth to get all of these spells learned early on, I'd say. There's just so many of them. And even at a higher level, they're expensive, which means they're going to cost a lot to make. But I guess if I check the show Spellmaker real quick, I kind of wonder... We could get an idea... If he might not have added them to the Spellmaker option. Not every custom spell mod author wants to add it to the, spell creation system. I don't think it's here. Yeah, I don't think so. No. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So you just got to find them. I think the mod author on the mod page explains in detail how you're supposed to acquire them. You get the spells by reading the book in your inventory? Gotcha, okay. That's cool. Yeah, so it won't be expensive to make them then, since you can't make them. Which is kind of nice. There's a lot of spells here, so I think it'd be very expensive. If you had to, like, buy every individual spell, it would be really expensive. Man, just look at the devastation on this farm here. Also, I'm back. Welcome back, Vox. Well, yeah, we've been thoroughly enjoying this. The one thing we haven't tried yet, we're going to try this next here, is the seance thing you added. I think that was really clever. And I checked out your video yesterday on the little teaser for the vampire one. I'm actually most excited about the vampire mod you're working on because that's a little bit more my preference in the class fantasy of a vampire. I like that a little bit more than necromancer personally. So just like personal taste, I like that. But I really like how you are focusing on sort of like the social power fantasy of vampires. I know that's hard to do in Daggerfall. It's hard to do it well. It's hard to represent it well. But from what I saw, you were doing an awesome job. It's cool that you can kind of use that classic vampire fantasy like manipulation that they're known for, and all the social stuff you can do, like feed on someone discreetly and turn someone to a thrall in the middle of a city or something at night. That stuff's really fun. And the idea that you can cover your head to not take sun damage, I love that. All that death reminds me of my Brutal Doom Chaos Maps playthrough. 100s to thousands of enemies in the vanilla maps. Oh, that's sick. Is that a modded, like, Doom thing? Brutal Doom Chaos Maps playthrough. That sounds like some kind of modded content. I should probably unsummon my guys here if we're going to go to a city. I think I could do that, right? Yeah, dismiss undead. I like how they have like the death animation fallback. If Lives of Banditry ever gets updated by SquidKamer, I'd love to see an option to turn off one of the factions. Then I would do some like full undead armies versus bandits or versus knights or whoever else. Okay, let's go to a city real quick here. I just added a Baldur's Gate 3 style skill check system for feeding events. Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I think it's one of the aspects of Daggerfall that is most I guess could use some modding support the most right now. I think that's the best way to put it, especially with like the social aspects of what it means to roleplay as a vampire. There's a lot to it, you know? It's a little laggy. I'm going to turn the snow off here. That should help a little bit. Yeah, that helps. I know it's hard, though, because Daggerfall just has, like, a ton of difficult things when it comes to, like, companions. I've heard so many other mod authors talk about why that's hard to do. But yeah, even simple stuff, you know, like using your manipulation powers as a vampire to do a little feeding at night in a tavern or something, you know, sneak into someone's room. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do. Yeah, it's really modded. Yeah, that sounds crazy. I don't think I've ever played the original Doom. I did play Doom 3. I know that's much different than the older ones, but I thought Doom 3 was pretty cool. Wow, I think, am I crazy, or did the dungeon variety mod change a tavern interior? I feel like it didn't used to look like this, the textures. But that's the only other texture mod I would have added since then. Unless I'm just misremembering. But I feel like it might have. Holy crap, Vox, your vamp mod sounds insane. Yeah, it looks really cool. And one thing, actually, Vox, stop me if you don't want me to spoil anything about it. Sorry, I should have asked that before I started talking about it. Brutal Doom turns the game into a gore fest with more modern gameplay-ish. You can reload your guns and other things. Enemies are more deadly. Maps of Chaos adds more rooms to the vanilla maps with a lot more enemies too. It's balls to the wall action. That's sick. Yeah, I guess this isn't really a boomer shooter, kind of like the actual older Doom games, but there's a more recent game that came out. I played a little bit of it, just the demo. I thought it was pretty cool. Mullet Mad Jack, I think it's called. It's not quite a boomer shooter because it doesn't have like actual full levels to explore like Doom does. You know, Doom has a lot of cool like secrets behind walls and Easter eggs and stuff like that. So it's a little different, this one. This one's more of like an arcadey style. You just go forward, but the combat's kind of like it. It's pretty fun. And I just like the sort of cyberpunky late 1980s aesthetic it's got going on. though it doesn't capture it perfectly in my opinion, but it's still pretty cool. Original Doom games still hold up. Mods are great. Check out Ashes. Yeah, I know it has an awesome modding scene. I think there's like isn't there like a GOG pack for like the first few together for super cheap? I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the case. Ashes mod are really good. Yeah, it's cool. I wonder if anybody would like watching me play like a boomer shooter on my channel on a live stream or something. That could be fun for like a one-day thing to check out with some modding. I'm not worried about spoilers. Before I came to work, I added a system that spawns a few villagers at night, so you can have alleyway feeding events at night. That's really sick. You know what that reminds me of, Vox? That reminds me of like, what's a game called? I just played it this year too. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Whenever I think of like social vampire fantasy stuff, I know that's urban fantasy, so it's a lot different than you know, more classic fantasy vampires like we have in Daggerfall. But Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines, that kind of built up my enjoyment of like the vampire fantasy a lot. And I love the social stuff you could do in games like that. I also noticed, Vox, that you had like a see-through blood detector through walls. If you guys don't know, he was working on something. I'm not sure if that feature's going to make it or not, but when you're like in a tavern, you might see someone on the second floor that has blood, and you'll see like red blood dots kind of through the wall, so you know someone is maybe feedable or at least there, which is very, very cool. Post Void, the game that Mold is based off of, is so good. Oh yeah, I've never heard of Post Void. That's pretty sick too. I didn't know it was based off something so cleanly like that. I thought it just kind of generally took inspiration from some other boomer shooters. Travel options from Red Rory the Glen. With TO's default settings, the player is likely to fail some main story quests that can lock them out of finishing it. Morgia's Quest and the Ancient Watcher. That's so interesting. This is actually the first time I've heard of this. Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe I should add, when I, the next time I mention travel options, one second, I'm going to put my standing desk up real quick. For all you gamers out there that play long hours, investing in a standing desk is like the biggest life changer for me. I was sitting since the start of the stream, and now I can just press this button, it goes into stand mode, and then, yeah, my back is thanking me. But yeah, maybe I should start adding a little, like, not disclaimer, but just like a little thing to mention that, travel options has a chance to potentially affect some of the main stories. I had no idea about that, to be honest. Which is kind of a shame, because I've been mentioning a lot in like my beginner videos without saying that, so I should probably change that. What game do you say is good? Oh, I think I was talking about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's like an urban fantasy role-playing game, vampire-focused. And there's a couple different vampire clans, all with their own unique abilities and stuff like that. Tons of cool social skills. Combat's kind of not the best, but it gets the job done. It's really all about like the urban fantasy storytelling, all the kind of cool stuff you could do in that kind of setting for a vampire role-playing concept. Ashes is sick. Yeah, I should probably try this out. Maybe it would be cool to do something like that on a live stream one day. Just one day of a little original Doom with some mods. All right, let me adjust the mic here because I'm standing now. Make sure this is okay. Quest markers will be a different color when looking through the walls with blood sense. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Workarounds for this, but it requires in-depth knowledge of Daggerfall's mechanics. For example, teleport/recall, grinding, Mage's Guild teleportation, or setting up travel options to avoid it, allowing reckless travel. Wow, that's so weird. I wonder what it is that it's that some of the best mod authors like Red Rory of the Glen can they know about it, but it looks like they probably can't fix it for some reason. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start mentioning that whenever I cover travel options. Travel options is one of those mods I tend to talk about a lot because it's so central to a lot of other mods. It's just so central to a lot of role-playing ideas that people enjoy in this game. And it's just like one of the central mods of the community, I feel like, so I tend to mention it a lot, but I've never even heard of it causing issues with the main quest. Before that shooter game, yeah, Mullet Mad Jack is what I was talking about, yeah. I only played the demo, though, but I quite liked it. And I haven't played any kind of boomer shooter in a long time, so I thought it was pretty cool. But it's different than Doom, though. You know, there's not actual full stages to explore. It's kind of like a corridor boomer shooter, but more arcadey, I guess. But it's got a really cool aesthetic and good music too. Classic, like late 80s saxophone, cyberpunky mood. You guys probably know what I'm talking about just based on that description. But yeah, very cool. There's a Disco Elysium style vampire game coming out in the near future. Oh, that sounds sick too. I think vampire, like urban fantasy vampire stuff is really cool for like really thick and heavy narrative focused games. Speaking of potentially vampires, she looks kind of familiar. I love this mod that redesigns the interiors of temples. I think this is Cliffworm's work, I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I got that wrong, but that's who I think did this. Did an amazing job, though. All the temple interiors look amazing. Vox, do you have any penalties for a vampire character having their hood up in public? If not, can I suggest adding a personality debuff while it's up? It'll make combos and pacifies harder, avoiding overpoweredness, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, a little trade-off could be cool. When you are hooded in sunlight, your vampire buffs are suppressed. As you lose blood points, your personality takes a hit, and there's a chance for a frenzy event based on your willpower. Oh, that's sick. Low humanity gives you real debuffs in sunlight. Interesting. I like that. Yeah, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines had kind of something like that, where you could go into like a chaotic break if you hadn't fed in a long time. Always a classic concept with vampires, losing control over their sanity, maybe. Or they kind of revert to like a primal form of themselves when they don't feed well. Oh yeah, I've seen that game. It reminds me of another game from a year ago or so that it's like. It's interesting. Yeah, I think there was another boomer shooter also on GOG that I picked up. I'm never going to remember the name right now, but also kind of had a similar aesthetic to that. I wouldn't really call it cyberpunky, but yeah, it kind of had that music style. All my areas are kind of lagging a little bit today. Let me try going cloudy. Helps a little bit, maybe. That's sick, especially the Frenzy event. This gives me a reason to try playing a vampire. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we'll definitely be checking out the vampire mod on the stream as well. Yo, what's up, Orbit? How's it going? Good to see you. We've been checking out the Necromancer mod here. And what's up, Nathan? How's it going? Yes, sir. Live. Doing a kind of random stream here. I was trying to stream a little bit earlier to... we got some new people, so I'll show off some of the new Necromancer stuff. But I was trying a little bit of an earlier time here so that we can maybe catch some of the EU crowd. A couple of the viewers from EU were mentioning that it's been hard to catch the streams with my hours, so... But yeah, this new Necromancer mod is a ton of fun here. You have a chance to even fail controlling them, which is really sick. Like this Lich here doesn't want me to control them. And you got a huge amount of different options. You got mummies, ghosts, wraiths, vampires, ancient liches, some other cool ones like ghouls, where I think a ghoul is not even from the vanilla list of enemies. I think it's only from Daggerfall enemy expansion. I could be wrong about that. Someone could correct me if I'm off there, but I think that's true. Let me build up a little army here again. Let's get a dire ghoul. Test corpse will spawn you a corpse. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Vox. Yeah, that's nice. Perfect. Nice. Let's do a zombie as well. We'll get a good variety here. Ghost was cool. This Fated Ghost is sick. Man, I hate all the ghost enemies in Daggerfall, like actually fighting them. They're like the worst for most of my builds. Especially with Killer Instincts on, they kind of fly away and they're just charging you constantly. It's rough. One more vampire. And now we're kind of getting close to our upkeep number. Yeah, so as you guys can see here, there's a little, there's a really cool sort of bound limit here. And this is a way to kind of cap your army. It's different than your number. It's not like a set number of minions. It's based on a point system. So a skeleton might be, you know, only like 30 points, where an ancient lich might be 70 points. And this is based on a couple different factors. I think, you know, your mysticism skill is maybe one of them. There's a couple other. The actual mod page does a good job explaining the exact details if you're curious and you download the mod. But then you can also see your legion number, which is good. But yeah, I much prefer this system other than other ones that just have like a set limit. Let's head up to another farm. I kind of want to choose a place that isn't so laggy. Get out of the snow for a bit here. Dragon riding mod also looked interesting. Cool to have a controllable flying mount besides airships, which are costly. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the dragon riding mod is so well done too. What's cool about it too is it also, it's not just visually different than airships, but it also controls in a very unique way. So it just feels much different than controlling an airship, which I like about it. If I choose 85 days, then maybe the weather will change. The season might change. That's a lot of days. Yeah, it's super sick. And it dropped out of nowhere. Again, another mod that just kind of dropped out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, this area has mountains. This is going to be super laggy. It's okay. This might crash my game, guys, just as a little warning. All right, let's do this. My undead army versus bandits. Let's go. And I'm really loving the corpse explosion. Something I really like about corpse explosion is you don't actually have to aim it. And I think this is actually really well done. Because it just seeks out a corpse for you and blows it up. It doesn't hurt your own summoned creatures. And it doesn't hurt you either, I think. Let's check. Oh, I have God mode on anyway. But yeah, I don't think it hurts you either. But yeah, slightly unfortunate thing is with these, you know, big farm battles, it's like 2 armies versus 1 now, because I would love to just do this with just my summoned creatures. Oh man, look at my ghosts up here. This is so cool. I love it with the rain too. This is a nice like backdrop, environmental backdrop for this fight right here. I mean, this is just such a nice capturing of the Necromancer class fantasy. Let's get another vampire going here. Yeah, this month's mod chase is going to be insane. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do still. I gotta work on the monthly mod showcase video. I gotta work on episode 1 of the Druid playthrough, which I'm putting a ton of extra, like, how can I put this? Like, I'm editing it a lot more. I'm putting more, like, cinematography type of things going on. I'm trying to really build up the story and the narrative context for you guys in the first episode. Every episode's not going to be like that, but the first episode definitely is. I want it to look good. I want it to be presented well. Yeah, we got this guy standing on top of his own allies here. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do with that. And then there was something else I wanted to do. Yeah, also I'm doing the live streams a lot more often as well. But yeah, I'm excited for this month's mod showcase video. Did you see that one guy fly? Yeah, what's up, Star Siege? I think that was probably the Killer Instincts mod will give them some unique combat behaviors, and whenever they try to hit a flyer, they try to like charge upwards, so they do a huge leap like that. It looks pretty funny. This guy's frozen, or he's threatening me with a knife maneuver here. But yeah, these fights are now, like, the other army barely even has any casualties here. Just look at that. If you want to try out the Necromancer mod for yourself, then I definitely recommend bringing them to one of these farm battles here. It's like an awesome place to see everything in action. You're playing a lot of Daggerfall these days? Nice. What's your most recent playthrough? Which character are you playing? What kind of role-playing concept are you going for? One thing that could be cool is if Lich transformation becomes a thing, make one or more of the temple factions hate you and send squads after you, kind of like Faction do in New Vegas. Yeah, that would be really sick. Your character actually just turns into like a Lich that controls these armies, and then you got factions after you? That sounds crazy. That sounds super hard to implement. But yeah, there's so many cool ideas. Doing a barbarian right now, low armor, high speed, nice. I think I did a long time ago. I made a when I was doing that like Daggerfall builds series, I kind of stopped doing that. It wasn't really performing that well on the channel. I had fun making them, but yeah, I don't think people were too interested in just seeing like my builds. But I did make a barbarian build for that. I only did 3 classes. I did a Nightblade, Barbarian, and Battle Mage. But the Barbarian was sick. One of the really cool things about building a Barbarian, I love getting athleticism, getting your jump skill like super high, and then it's actually high enough to land on top of the enemies or on top of the heads of your enemies. So you could do a jump and kind of bunny hop over them and hit someone behind them. It's such a sick thing. It's like just barely enough height to do that without any kind of spell or anything. But yeah, all the sort of athletic builds like that are really fun, I feel like high speed, high jump, yeah, with like a big two-handed weapon. It's just such a sick fantasy. Going full evil, nice. I saw you jumping over heads with that build. Yeah. It's kind of cool because there actually is there's like a hitbox that you actually get to jump off of, so I thought that was really cool. Which is kind of weird because there's not always hitboxes. I mean, actually, I guess, is there always a hitbox that yeah, I guess there is. I can't run through him, right? Yeah, I guess there always is a hitbox like that. But yeah, if you're a barbarian, you got enough jump or athleticism, you can actually leap on the heads and then use it as a bunny hop. I guess it's the friendly NPCs that don't have a hitbox that you can just freely run through. That's why I was thinking that, probably. I don't know if anyone else knows, but do you guys know if it's the Killer Instincts mod that causes these backpedaling enemies to move so fast like that? Basically faster than my sprint. I think it might be, but I'm not. Oh, he's got the whole army on him now. Sheesh. Yeah, I think it's probably Killer Instincts that does that, but I've also never noticed, is this a scarecrow or a dead person here? Kind of looks like a dead person because there's some other ones over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy looking. Let's turn a light source on here. Yeah, that's intense. I fought a Lich last night at level 4 with an Ebony Claymore, and it took 5 minutes. That's kind of epic, though. Yeah, you kind of slide past him if you glance off right. Yeah, exactly. Could also be cool if you're a Lich and you get hated by everyone as a Lich, but you can cast a spell that masquerades you as a living person, but you can never get so high as you can normally. Yeah, some kind of a illusion spell maybe that would do that. That could be kind of sick. Never saw them backpedal. I need that mod. Thanks for grabbing it now. Yeah, Killer Instincts is awesome. I can write it in the... Well, I guess that's exactly what it is. It's just called Killer Instincts. I think it's Red Rorio the Glen did that one, but yeah, that one's really, really cool. It adds a lot of stuff. It adds a charging attack. So if I could show you real quick. If I spawn like a... who's melee? 145 might be melee? Yeah. And I move back, you'll see he'll start to charge me. And that charge is actually a double attack. If it connects, there's 2 different attack checks. So it can really, really chunk you if you're not careful. There is also... Which number is the spider? Let's see here. Oh, I think tigers will do it too, actually. There's also a little hop attack that you could do. And you can usually see it on tigers or other agile enemies. And they'll do this little leap forward. Oh, he's charging the other guys. Let's see if we can make this guy do it. Yeah, like that. That little pounce you just saw. A lot of the more agile enemies will get that ability, like spiders, scorpions, tigers. Some humans actually get it too, like the rogues and thieves might have it. And then lastly, it adds a cleave attack to bigger enemies, like giants have them. I think orc chieftains or orc warlords, I forgot, also have them as well. But yeah, it's really, really sick. But that won't fool the temple squads. Yeah, something like that could be cool. I'll work on the Lich mod next. I could probably use some of the aspects of the Vampire mod to try to make an interesting Lich experience. Yeah, something like that could be cool. Being in Farmland and Daggerfall reminds me how cool it would be to have a house building mod. Yes, I think so too. It would be amazing. Imagine like an actual proper, like you can place the specific floor tiles, the walls, how you want. That sounds like a massive modding project. But I mean, we've got some really, like SquidKamer made these windmills, and look how awesome these look. I mean, these are incredible, incredible structures here. Imagine having a way to, like, whatever tools he used to make this, some kind of in-game UI where you can place walls or floor tiles and build some kind of interior cell. I always want to make these windmills my player homes somehow. I would love a mod that would let me do that. Because I really like how these windmills look. They got a nice like verticality to them. They got this upstairs section here. You might have to change like the layout a little bit to capture what you want, but I think it'd be really sick. This game will get as many mods as the classic Doom. Amazing. Yeah, I think so. I mean, ever since Unity released, I feel like the modding scene has just exploded for Daggerfall, but I feel like even more so recently, we've just seen a lot of new, high-quality, really creative mods, some that help you roleplay better, some that build completely new class fantasy concepts that the original was lacking. This Necromancy mod is an awesome example of that, but I also really love the recent Druid mod, like Call Animal. This is a spell that, it's just not a part of vanilla Daggerfall that really captures Druid class fantasy well. There's also another one, Communing with Kinnereth. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but you get a plant right here and you can talk to this flower. And it has some other implications, but I'll show it off a little bit more in the Druid playthrough. Yeah, this is going to change everything. Yeah. Fallout 4 building, but in Daggerfall, it actually just works. It just works, guys. I wish it just worked. Even if someone could do a mod that just kind of lets you flag any interior cell as a player home, that could be a good compromise. Because then you can just scout out what you like and yoink whatever house you want. Which would be cool if there were people trying to hunt down your phylactery and you had to stop them. Yeah, that could be kind of sick. Hide it somewhere in the world and you can get like a message. Your phylactery is under siege. You have 14 days to get back there. Something like that. Start some kind of quest in your log. Can you imagine this as an MMO? There is or I guess there was, a multiplayer mod that was being worked on. So some people did get to experience Daggerfall as a bit of an MMO. More of like a local, well, not local, online multiplayer, but, smaller in scope than an MMO, of course. But yeah, I think it's still possible to play the multiplayer mode. I haven't tried it out myself. I don't know much about it, honestly. But just because people have mentioned it to me a few times, I think it probably is still out there somewhere. I thought there was a command for this. I could be wrong. Like, Thought it was something like that. I probably can also get it from Open Shop Alchemist. There's a chance to spawn the dragon egg. Huh, can't remember the actual thing for it. There's a couple other really cool druid spells that are recent that I don't think I showed off, like Barkskin's a new one that he made recently. There's a few others, I think. Check out 2 mods, Physical Combat Overhaul and Meaner Monsters. Yeah, I haven't spent that much time looking at mods that like make the combat more difficult. I have Killer Instinct and I kind of stopped there, but I meant to do more testing on some other mods like that. Yeah, you can see my screen here is a little green. Got a bit of a green like shade going on, or filter, I should say. That's because of the Barkskin spell. Gives you like a little bit of a defensive buff. With such large mods and content to enjoy, add multiplayer and you have a really amazing experience. Yeah, it would be fun. I would love to play online and play with some viewers together. If we could all go on a journey. I mean, how fun would dungeon crawling be in this game with a whole squad of friends? I just wonder what it would look like, right? Because I guess, like, maybe you could use the Eye of Beholder mod to represent a, like a perspective of an ally NPC like that, using, something like this. Like, if your friend was using a mage, maybe it just looks like this kind of model walking around next to you. I can imagine something like that kind of working. But I've never seen the multiplayer mod, so I don't know how they represented it back then. Or now, I should say, even still. Each player with their own squad fighting other players. Sieges. Oh, yeah. I mean, that'd be crazy. Especially with how big cities are in this game. Like, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Does a transparent windows mod still tank frame rates? I don't know. I don't know if I ever tried that mod out, actually. I do remember seeing it, I think. It sounds familiar, at least. I might have seen it in someone else's mod list, but I've definitely never tried it out myself. What's up, Mysterious Fox? How's it going? Yeah, but some of the... we got Call Animal here, which is really cool. You can get a random animal. We got a bat and a bear. And, yeah, you still need to pass your animal taming to actually have them follow you, which is cool. So they'll stand around and they will defend you in their location, but they won't actually follow you unless you pass an animal taming check, which is nice. Hello, Shpan. I just want to say hi to you and wish you a good stream and have a great day. Thanks, Lay. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Good to see you. The one I'm most excited about, though, I think I have... Yeah, the mushroom one's pretty cool. And this one cool also. Like, it makes a very small AoE healing ground. And the healing's very low. It's like 1 to 3 health a second, I think. But yeah, as long as you're within this little flower patch that you can grow, and you can kind of extend the, perimeter here, you'll be healed a little bit. It's really cool. Gives the druid a little bit of a healing, unique type of healing spell. Did you see the 8 magical asterisks Asha Sharma and BGS tweeted? I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. I did see this. Yeah, for the new Elder Scrolls 6, right? The 8 magical asterisks. That's a great way to phrase it. Yeah, I saw it. I don't know what to make of it. Do you think it's actually 8 letters? And if so, is there a region in Daggerfall with 8 letters? People can start theory crafting what the next location is. Haven't people already done this, though? Isn't it, like, speculated to be High Rock again, I think, or something? Read on it, and you will see that it make the armor more effective, and if you hit an enemy, the hit always lands. Oh, that's interesting. I think Sphincter Vision attacks, or Sphincter Vision combat, some kind of mod that he made also, does something very similar, where there's no more hits missing. I think it's cool. Someone just recently commented that they don't like that about Daggerfall's combat system. That you roll for every attack and there's a chance you can miss. So for people that don't like that, that's a really cool option for them. haven't actually played in like a year, got burnt out. We'll have to find some time soon with all these new mods. Yeah. Yeah, I love taking a little break from games that I love. Then you come back and you're refreshed. It feels good. There's some novelty to it again. Always good to take a nice break. It's quite all right, thank you. You make some great vids, man. Keep coming. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Always appreciate the kind words like that. It makes doing all this, all the mod showcases, all the videos, that much more worth it. I always appreciate it. Can you intimidate NPCs in this game to follow you? Yes, you kind of can. It kind of depends on how you think about it. But if I spawn... I got a messed up texture right there. If I spawn an enemy here, and let me set my personality to max, and also set my streetwise to max, and my etiquette, so we got a good chance to pacify them. So you could pacify them by interacting with them. And you can see on the top there it says Ranger pacified using etiquette skill. So in a way you could roleplay it as to be like intimidating. And then you can go, once you've passed the first check to pacify, there's a bunch of other checks you can make here to do different things. You can do another check to get them to follow you. And if you pass that check like I just did, the Ranger joins your party. And now they actually follow you as a friendly NPC that'll fight on your side. So yeah, you could interpret that as like intimidating, depending on how you want to roleplay the concept. That flower spell is so well done. Yeah, it looks really nice. And actually, I love the idea of giving a little bit of an AoE healer like concept to a druid, especially with all the summons you'll have. I'm actually kind of curious. I want to check real quick. Can you use it indoors? Yeah, you can use it indoors too. That's cool. Some of the spells he restricted to outdoors only, kind of like classic D&D druids. But yeah, then you got some other interesting ones like Spore Bloom. This will poison and deal slight damage over time. And also Entangle, which I really love. Traps them in a little bit of a vine kind of situation where they're stuck. It's just, all this is so perfect for capturing druids. Yeah, you can easily pacify them and join you. Yeah, exactly. I don't think the number of asterisks mean anything. Everything people have dug up indicates it's Hammerfell. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I guess, is Daggerfall the only game that includes Hammerfell originally? I guess Arena does too, right? But besides those two, that would have been the last time I guess we've been to Hammerfell, besides Elder Scrolls Online, if people count that. I tried this last night. It's extremely rewarding. Yeah. All these new mods have been so sick. I feel like every day I want to get on the stream just to show you guys not only the new mods, but then all the updates that are happening to the new mods. I feel like all the mod authors are like releasing the mod, and then like the next day they got an update fixing things or making things even better, or they thought of something new. Even the dungeon variety mod that I just showed yesterday has already got an update, which I didn't actually grab right now because it was like right before the stream, but yeah, it's really sick. For sure, I would really have to go back to New Vegas, but I want a computer to max that experience out. A computer that will do VR too. Oh, that would be insane for VATS. That's sick. I've never tried VR on any game at all, actually. I wouldn't be opposed to it, though. I'd be willing to give it a try. Let me catch up on chat a little bit more. I know you can get them to follow you, but I wasn't sure if it worked like Fallouts. I intimidate a suicide mutant, told him to attack his own kind, and he blew himself up and his friend. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think you can get, like, I don't know if you can get your NPCs to do that exactly in this game, though they will fight their own kind, for sure, when you pacify them. They'll fight anyone hostile to you, actually, whether or not they belong to the same enemy group or not. I'm sorry I don't comment more. I don't play this game because I don't have the computer power to play this game, so I didn't want to speak to it. Others have better, more useful things to say. No, you're good, Valentine Puppy. You don't have to worry about that. We're all just chilling. Good comments, you know. Or not, whatever you're feeling. No need to apologize. You're good. I've taken breaks from Daggerfall for a while too sometimes. It's sometimes nice to take a longer break. Regardless if that's because you don't have a computer that works it anymore or just because you want to give yourself some time off of it. But yeah, then it's even nicer when you come back. You're refreshed, feels good. I tried Open Arena a couple weeks ago. It runs very smoothly. Oh, that's the... Is that sort of the... Wow, this is a huge drop here. The orc also jumped down with me. That was sick. Is that the... Kind of like how Daggerfall Unity is for Daggerfall, is Open Arena kind of like a new engine for Arena? Is that what it is? Maybe you should have to carry and use up ingredients to use spells indoors. Yeah, I think something like that would make a lot of sense. The mod author, Luan, I've been talking to him a little bit about the Druid mod stuff, and he's been awesome. He's been helping me with the playthrough a little bit by helping me capture specific things I want, like some restrictions on the spells. But yeah, that is a cool idea. Maybe some, because there's so many different like flower ingredients in Daggerfall, you could easily make some kind of like reagent necessary for indoor casting on stuff like that. Because usually in like older D&D, the type of druids I like, they have a lot of restrictions on indoor casting generally. It's usually one of their big downfalls. Also can't wear metal usually, but yeah. The Elder Scrolls 6 will be returned to Iliac Bay. The Elder Scrolls 6 Sentinel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it does have 8. That's a good point, actually, computer. You might be onto something. The 8 asterisks. Sentinel would fit. Is Sentinel the entire capital of Hammerfell, or is it just the capital of Wayrest, I want to say? Is that right? Do regions actually have a capital outside of, like... I guess I should say, do major regions actually have a capital outside of, like, the region capitals? Sentinel would make sense for 8 letters, but that's just one province, and Sharma said it was a huge game. Likely it is Sentinel, but likely it is Hammerfell, the wider region that includes Sentinel. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Kenshi is another game that got a massive boost in modding thanks to a new framework that allows modders to go nuts. Do you notice the amount of mods published on GOG? Yeah, that's crazy. I actually have not picked up Kenshi yet. I plan to, though. I've heard awesome things about it. It's another one of those games I just feel like is perfect sandbox. Kind of build your own playthrough concepts and do what you want. And I watched one video on Kenshi, and it just seemed ridiculous, the amount of options in that game. There's a crazy-looking dungeon. Yes, this is a custom-made dungeon by SquidKamer. You can find this in the Dungeons of Daggerfall mod. So, yeah, it adds a lot of custom dungeons. It adds some non-custom dungeons too, but yeah, the custom dungeons just look amazing. So different from what you see in the vanilla version. Man, that orc can jump. That was like 20 feet. Yeah. I think fall damage can actually kill enemies in this game, though. I've experienced that with like the kick, with like Mighty Kick or one of the other mods, and you can knock them down really steep hills sometimes in dungeons, and I guess they're kind of staircases, but those really steep falling staircases. And I'm pretty sure the fall damage killed the skeleton. I did that too. I should set that up and actually test that someday. I feel that the response to not having really good AAA is the community pumping and reviving games like amazing content. Modders are doing justice to a lot of older games. Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. I also just feel like there's kind of a newfound appreciation for some of the older design choices in some of these older games. You know, if you're someone like us and you have a lot of love for Daggerfall's design, it's just very difficult to find more recent releases that capture it. Of course, there are some. You know, people have mentioned Devilspire Falls. People have mentioned Kenshi does it a little bit. We got the Wayward Realms potentially coming out. So there are definitely options, but there just aren't a lot of options. So coming back to these games and modding them in ways that sort of capture some differences you'd like to see is always a cool way to, you know, get the specific design, game design options that you want, I guess. But obviously you need a lot of talent and skill to do that kind of modding. So for people like me that can't do it, I just get to enjoy what the amazing modding community is able to put out, which I always very much appreciate. Could be the Elder Scrolls 6 dog water in reference to it being made by modern. Alright, you got me there. I was going into that message with expecting like a serious theory on the next potential location. That was funny. Yeah, most of the games I play now are old games / mods / indies. Yeah, me too. I've been putting a lot of time again into Neverwinter Nights. I kind of want to do a stream of it. I just don't know how much you guys will enjoy it or not. But there's a cool module I played many years ago, and I just kind of refound it when I was browsing through the Neverwinter Vaults. The Neverwinter Vault is like a massive modding website that holds all of the custom modules, the custom campaigns that people make. So it's an amazing resource for fans of the game. But yeah, I was thinking about doing a stream of that one day to see if you guys could enjoy it, maybe. I know my channel really mostly just covers Daggerfall, so for those not interested, that's okay, of course. Case of Cud, maybe? Gives a similar gameplay experience to those games, but it's only 2D. The build variety in that game is insane, definitely worth it. That's interesting. 2D, is it like an open world game then in 2D? Or like a side scroller maybe or something? Or maybe something like Darkest Dungeon? I forgot how to spawn the dragon. I thought it was dragon_spawn, but it's not. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, Neverwinter Nights is amazing, man. I'm playing the main campaign right now. I love the dynamic maps you can download from the vault. Yeah, that's awesome. Are you like, I'm curious, holy Mega Dave, are you actually liking the original campaign? A lot of people will tell new players to like completely skip it, just because it's very long. A lot of people think the narrative is really lacking. There's not a lot of freedom after Chapter 1 to like do things differently. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it for what it was, but I treated it more like a tutorial dungeon. It almost feels like it's a tutorial, honestly, the main campaign. The 2 expansions, once you finish the main campaign, though, the 2 expansions are much better, narratively. They're also better with just RPG options and choices, but, yeah, you'll see a lot of... Oh, I got the very loud song on right now. Let me get into a different region. This song's crazy in this game. Yeah, a lot of people will recommend to actually skip the main campaign, to play like 10 or 15 hours just so you learn the mechanics, and then to move on to player-made modules, or just some of the premium modules, like, what's it called? Daggers over... I can't think of the name now. Something Daggerford is another great premium module. So is Witch's Wake, I think it's called. Witch's Wake is also really good. So is the Sword Coast module. That's another nice one. Let me catch up on this chat here. I always hear Swordflight is good for Neverwinter Nights mods. Yes, Swordflight is one of the classics, but it is extremely difficult. It's even difficult for very experienced Neverwinter Nights players. Swordflight, you kind of have to build, you got to have really good sense of how to build a very strong character at all like different breakpoints of levels. So if you're going to play Swordflight, I definitely recommend looking up a build that someone says is okay for the module. It's like crazy, the level of difficulty in that module. Kizakud is a roguelike. Oh, okay, gotcha. I definitely heard the name as well. Kizakud is open world, technically a roguelike, but you can play it where it's not permadeath. Interesting. I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever heard of another game called Vagrus? It's not the game I was looking at that I thought was actually very cool in concept. You control like a merchant caravan, and it's pretty difficult, I heard. It's really mostly like menu and text-based, but there is combat as well. And you do all sorts of like interesting things. You build like beasts of burden. You got to worry about your supplies. You got slaves in a really intense and I guess violent and difficult society and world that you're living in and interacting in. But there's a lot of cool role-playing elements to it as well. And there's proper companions and stuff. It sounded really cool. And there's a demo. I played the demo for a little bit. I'm going to play more of it sometime this week. But I wonder if any of you guys have played Vagrus and if you like it. We're seeing so many re-implementations and fan ports for old games because decompilation has become really easy, and the kids who grew up with the games are now adults who know what pointers are. Yeah, that's true too. All of us kind of, yeah, we're all adults now that grew up playing these great games. So this is the kind of stuff that we love, and we can actually mod it correctly now and build up these communities that know what they're doing. It's really sick, actually. Playing Winter Nights with friends is really fun. We did it while making funny voices and improvise personalities for the NPCs. Nice. Yeah, there's just so much you can do. I love that, you know, the online element of Neverwinter Nights is really cool too. I didn't do too much with the persistent worlds. I hopped on a few of them, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome that the option's there. Yeah, that's how I feel about newer games. They don't make old NES, SNES, and PS1-like games anymore. I have to rely on indie games and fan games. Yeah, I think a lot of people share that feeling with you. Dracaris. What's up? How do I say that name? Akaldama, maybe. How's it going? The prologue is boring as F. Yeah, I will never play the prologue ever again, but I want to play the whole game at least once. I bought Infinite Dungeon so I can level up my characters from scratch to play them in different modules. The combat is like Darkest Dungeon. Gotcha. Yeah, one of the really cool things about Neverwinter Nights with that is you can actually just download a module that's like a character creator module. So you don't have to like level up on your own for that game, which is kind of cool. I would like to see other games do that do let you import characters to like other campaigns and stuff. That would even be very cool for Daggerfall. Though in Daggerfall, we got the console command. We can basically do that. But in Neverwinter Nights, it's actually like a full setup area. It's like a little lobby. You make your character. You could talk to an NPC that'll set your level, your gold, every single parameter you could think of. And then there's a whole player character override system where you can just, you know, choose between hundreds of different faces, body types, even different races like centaurs and giants or dark elves and, you know, the Fae and like anything you can think of basically has been supported by the community over all these years. Because Neverwinter Nights is just so moddable. And it was intentionally designed that way by BioWare to be extremely easy to mod and for players to make their own content for it. And that's kind of why the main campaign is the way it is. Because BioWare was expecting everyone to build their own stories and share it with the community. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, Caves of Coot sounds cool too. I mean, there's just such a huge list of games I got to get to. That would be kind of nice, actually. That's the one nice thing about once I get some of this content done for Daggerfall that I really want to get to. Ooh, I like this tavern here with this second floor looking down like this. This is cool. But yeah, once I get some of the bigger videos out that I want to get to this week and next week, then I'll start looking at some other games potentially. And I think for the live stream, as long as you guys are cool with it, we can maybe try some different games like that. Maybe I'll play Devilspire Falls and Neverwinter Nights, maybe an old boomer shooter or two. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. As a rebuttal to Sentinel being too small, The Elder Scrolls 4 was named after Oblivion, which only takes up a small fraction of the whole game. Gotcha. It's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah, it's a good point. And isn't that map just generally smaller than a lot of the other Elder Scrolls maps in general? I'm not actually sure about that. I didn't play too much of Oblivion. Yeah, I couldn't get into it at the time. I do want to revisit it just because I'm kind of curious how I'd feel about it now, but at the time I didn't love it. You can save your character in Neverwinter to use it on any module you want. It's like your character's alive. Yeah, it's just so sick. You can bring it from one campaign to a completely new campaign. It lets you just set up the very specific parameters you want when engaging with a new campaign, which is one of my favorite parts about it. You know, if the author of a module tells you, we recommend you're level 6 to 8 for this module, well, then you can just make a new character and choose 6 to 8 and whatever you want to do for it. Doom with the corruption cards live through... Doom with the corruption cards and live through Doom mod will give you a good roguelike dungeon crawl experience inside Doom. That's kind of cool sounding. I feel like the Doom modding space has got to be absolutely ridiculous by now. You play traditional roguelikes? Not too many, honestly. I played some Darkest Dungeon. I didn't love it, personally. There was another cool one. I don't know if I'll be able to think of the name. Is it called? I think it's called Star Renegade. It's a sci-fi roguelike, but I quite like that one because the combat I thought was really good. Yeah, though I don't know. I don't think that game's that popular. I don't think too many people know about it, but I thought it was really well made. The actual like roguelike mechanics are kind of interesting to it also. And it's pretty challenging, though not crazy challenging, but the combat's just really nice. Morrowind has the smallest map, Skyrim's second smallest, but Oblivion feels the smallest because it is the least dense. Interesting. I didn't realize Morrowind had the smallest one. Yeah, I wonder if you guys enjoy watching me play some Morrowind also, maybe on stream sometimes. The streams are a good way for me to do that without having to make like a dedicated video, which takes much longer. And the dedicated videos, if I do stuff that's not Daggerfall, it tends not to do that well on my channel, which kind of hurts my analytics a little bit. But that doesn't really bother me. I make a lot of videos that are not about Daggerfall too every now and then when I'm feeling it. Like I released that Ghost in the Shell video that did terrible. But I just kind of was in the mood to talk about it, so I kind of treat my channel like that a little bit. Just when I want to talk about something, I like to. But I do also care how the videos perform, of course. I put a lot of work into them. I want them to do well when they can. But I think the live stream gives me a good opportunity to, you know, fool around with some other games that aren't Daggerfall. And hopefully if you guys enjoy it, we can do some more of that. But yeah, if I have to make dedicated videos for them, it's of course a lot more work than just live streaming for fun and talking to you guys about it. Let's see what else is here. My bad. I got the standing desk up now, so I feel like I'm missing some of the chat. I gotta like move down to see my second monitor here. So sorry if I missed your comment. If I ever miss your comment, just repeat it. It's not spamming or anything. Doesn't bother me at all. So just, you know, you can always repeat yourself on my channel. Always feel free. Remember Doom mod that changed the gameplay to a first-person Dark Souls experience? That was really sick. That sounds absolutely insane. Skyrim and Oblivion have the smallest relative map since they try to represent the whole province at half of what Morrowind would have used. Interesting. I would say the lack of density makes Oblivion feel huge. Oh, yeah. Hey, Orbit, did you just become a channel member? Thank you. I just noticed the symbol. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I would say the lack of density can sometimes make Daggerfall feel huge too, which is kind of funny. Yeah. It's kind of something I actually like about Daggerfall a lot, is that the open world doesn't have so many points of interest on it. Obviously, the vanilla version has like none, which is way too little. But with the World of Daggerfall project, there's such a good balance between, what's it called? Having points of interest, but still keeping that like massive open world that feels pretty isolated and builds a good atmosphere and doesn't have too much clutter. Yeah, you know, I was also wondering, anyone that uses Beautiful Cities of Daggerfall, I got this one bug that I've had forever, and I spent like no time troubleshooting it for some reason. I probably should have. But all the inns that spawn specifically in in like these town squares. So Beautiful Cities of Daggerfall, you'll probably notice you get these town squares a lot. That's just a circle of you know, inns and different shops. But the taverns that are always here, and just these taverns, no other taverns in the game, are like fake buildings for my game. They kind of say this house has nothing of value. But I remember they used to be proper taverns at some point that I could actually enter. One sec, guys. I want to check my phone real quick for a message. But yeah, Orbit, thanks again. I really appreciate that. Skyrim has obstacles like mountains you have to navigate around, making it feel larger. Pretty sure in Oblivion you can just walk in a straight line to anywhere you want to go. Oh, that's interesting. Is the topography that like unvaried in Oblivion? Like not a lot of verticality, I guess. Oh yeah, there's a map randomizer for Doom. So with corruption cards, you'd get a lot closer to a rogue experience. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really have too much experience with like real proper roguelikes. I would guess, like, I don't know, is Darkest Dungeon like the most proper? Oh, you know, also Spelunky I played a little bit of. I guess that's like a real proper roguelike as well. Spelunky was pretty cool. It's not really my like favorite, but I think the mechanics of Spelunky are like really tight. Really good mechanics and gameplay. There's a map randomizer for Doom, so with... Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, you get close to it. I see what you're saying. The map for DAP is equal to England IRL. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. Which is why it's nice to have... I feel like I must have deactivated the Dragon mod accidentally. Probably I was doing that with the Druid testing, so I don't have it right now. But yeah, that's why it's nice to have a couple different options for traveling. And part of why I always think travel options is just such a great option for players. I mean, how else can you really explore this world not efficiently, but just sort of realistically, practically, I should say. Efficiency doesn't really matter, right? Maybe to some people it does. What messes me up is we have tons of things to play, but not time to enjoy them all. Yes, that is exactly how I feel. Yeah, that's the sad thing. Which is kind of why I want my live streams to do a little bit more variety like that. That would just give me such a great avenue to be playing a lot of my backlog without having to like sacrifice the free time I use for content creation. Like, a lot of my free time is for Daggerfall videos and stuff. So I think if you guys are cool with it, maybe I'll do Neverwinter Nights on the next stream. I think for Saturdays and Sundays, we'll still stick with Daggerfall stuff because I kind of, at least for the first few weeks, I was like promising the streams on weekends. So I want to make sure I keep to that schedule. I know a lot of people can't really tune in during the weekdays. Yeah, so for weekends, we'll probably stick to that. I know, bro, too tired to do anything that isn't brain dead after work too. Yeah. I work at night personally, so for me, I actually can do like the daytime streams, the morning streams, and then I work at night and I do my work from home though. And that's also kind of not as fun. When you do your work from, I don't know if you other guys, some of you probably work from home as well, but yeah, when you're like gaming as one of your main hobbies and then you also work from home and have to be on a computer, it's kind of, it's like double dipping in the back pain. and also the eye pain of just staring into a screen all day. I get myself lost into putting together the mods and then move on to another game to do the same. I play a lot, but not as much progress in a particular game as I really want. Yeah, I sometimes do this too in some games. When I was playing Skyrim a long time ago, that was a very common experience for me. Building out like a huge Skyrim mod list with all this kind of cool stuff that was really like specific for a certain type of playthrough I wanted to do. And then, yeah, I played like 10 hours of that playthrough and I did something else. Yeah, Neverwinter Night, please. Let's vote. Yeah, we could do that, actually. It's a good idea. Neverwinter Nights, I think I would... I'd want to introduce some of you guys to it with some cool modules. I'm not sure which one would be fun to watch on a live stream. I don't as often do permadeath stuff for Neverwinter Nights. I've done it for some modules. It just depends on the difficulty range. Some modules, especially because they're custom, community-made stuff, can be very, very difficult, where you're meant to, well, I don't know if I'd say you're meant to die, but if you do die, you can kind of build up a different kind of strategy before you go in, different kind of buffs, different kind of positioning, all that kind of stuff. Neverwinter Nights has the real-time with pause combat, so there's also like an element of performance to it. You have to play it well as well, react well. I'm convinced the Elder Scrolls 6 will be pretty much the same region as the Elder Scrolls 2. If the number of is representative of the name length, I don't think it's High Rock, because I think the space would be an extra asterisk. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably true. I do think that also we have that one, I know it's almost nothing, but we got that one like cinematic, we got that one cinematic trailer for Elder Scrolls 6, and the actual look of the region, it definitely kind of reminds me of like High Rock. To me, I would guess High Rock if I just looked at that visually, the aesthetic. But I guess, I don't know, maybe some places in Hammerfell could look like that too, probably. Yeah. I think you can branch out however you like, so long as you stick with role-playing channel theme. A Call of Duty playthrough might confuse the algorithm. Yeah, for sure. I don't think I can go that far out. I think even my Ghost of the Shell video, YouTube had no idea who to send that to. And I think the way it kind of works with the algorithm is that the very first reaction the algorithm can have is how my subscribers react. So if my subscribers don't react well to a video, then I think YouTube knows that it's not probably going to do that well to the greater extended audience on their platform. I mean, the algorithm's really complex, I know, but I think that's part of it. And if I'm not doing a role-playing game, I would not expect you guys to just be like, oh yeah, I definitely want to see that. So that's all, yeah. If I stick to role-playing games, I think it'll be okay. And actually, there's some evidence of that on my own channel here with my Realms of Arcania video did really well. My first Neverwinter video did very well too. And even my Dungeon Lords video from a long time ago, I don't know how many of you guys were around for that. But that's another kind of older RPG that did pretty well, all things considered, at least for a small channel like mine. I think it did okay. You can play Neverwinter Nights with your viewers, role-playing. You can be the Dungeon Master in Neverwinter and make your viewer play and have a good laugh. That is exactly what I was thinking of at some point. I kind of want to introduce the game to the live streams first, but if you guys are interested and if you own the game, that would be so much fun for me. If you guys don't know, Neverwinter Nights has a built-in Dungeon Master kind of interface thing. And if you guys go into a custom module that we all have together, you can make your characters do all your stuff. I could be an invisible Dungeon Master following you guys around. I can write narrative text that you see pop up on your screen. I can spawn encounters. I can open your inventory and steal something and pretend that an NPC in the town did it. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it's just built to be like the perfect Dungeon Master, and it's all real time. I could do this in real time with you guys as you're moving. And there's some cool videos online you can see of people using the Dungeon Master mode to do some very cool stuff. I would be very new to it, so I wouldn't be great at it, but I would try to... I think that'd be so much fun if we did something like that together on the channel. Maybe as the channel grows, more of you guys... I'll convince more of you guys to pick up some Neverwinter Nights copies, and maybe some of you go love it and want to play. But if we did that on the channel, I would love that. But for the first stream, definitely not. We'll get to it a little slower. We'll walk into it slowly. Yeah, the name drop trailer, like we didn't know it would be called Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, the big surprise. This is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys recognize this exterior block here, but this exterior block is all a part of the Thieves Guild overhaul, actually. So even the exterior gets built up with the Thieves Guild overhaul. And if you go into it... Oh, actually, I think I won't be able to because I'm not a... Yeah, I don't think I can get into this. Nah. Actually, maybe it is possible if I just punch it down. Let me save real quick. They aren't going to trick me into buying another one of their games. Oh yeah, I can kick myself into this. Is actually the Thieves Guild that we're in right now, that we just broke into. And it's redesigned in a really cool way. On the surface, on the main floor here, it just looks like your normal everyday house, which I love. Oh, all the NPCs are missing though, because technically I'm not in the guild, I guess. But and then you go to the back room here, and you got a ladder, and in the attic is the whole secret operation here. Normally there'd be a bunch of NPCs here, and like a Thieves Guild sign would be here. And these little loot piles, you can see there's actually loot in them already. As you go and do stuff, the Thieves Guild will, and you check in on the Thieves Guild, it's like new stolen loot piles will spawn, which is really cool that you could just freely take. It's like other thieves in the guild have picked stuff up and sharing it with the whole guild. I love the concept. But yeah, this is a very cool overhaul. I forgot who made it though off the top of my head right now. I can't remember the name. Yeah, I think we're all RPG nuts in your channel. Yeah. Yeah, I was very happy that some of the other RPGs that I covered did okay on my channel as well. I always appreciate when you guys help support those videos. I know that Daggerfall is what most of you guys are here for, but yeah, I still very much appreciate the support on other videos as well. Because Daggerfall is not the only game that I love. And I'm sure that's true for all you guys as well, of course. But Daggerfall is one of those games that I basically never get tired of. Whereas there's other games that I might even like more than this, but if I play too much of it, I get tired of it and I need a break. And then I come back and I feel refreshed and good about it. But Daggerfall, I just kind of don't really ever get bored of. In fact, you can make some really good content out of that in Neverwinter Nights, like some kind of Big Brother, people outside watching and voting how to make players suffer. That's pretty funny, actually. I never thought about that. Wow, that could be sick, actually, as a Dungeon Master. Man, actually, there's so many cool ideas you could do with the Dungeon Master. Yeah, if you guys are curious about that, there are videos online where some people have done some really cool stuff. But yeah, the Dungeon Master is just a floating, invisible NPC, and you could just do all sorts of fun stuff to adventurers. I actually have no idea how to set that up. Set it up. I've never done that myself, so that whole process would be completely new to me, but it would be extremely fun. And if we could ever get the like multiplayer mod working for Daggerfall, I'd love to do the same thing in Daggerfall with you guys. Of course, I wouldn't be like a dungeon master, but we could just adventure together on live streams sometimes. If someone has to leave and go do something, some other viewer could come in and take their place or something. We could do so much fun stuff like that. RPG, fantasy, and old school PC games for me, yeah, that's pretty much what I love as well. I could sometimes be in a sci-fi mood. It's rare for me, though. Same, it's a comfort game. Can always fire up Daggerfall and have a good time. Same with Doom 2. Now UZ Doom. Yeah, I mean, Daggerfall is like for me, it's like the perfect comfort game. The music, the atmosphere, the vibes. And because I feel like I could do nothing and still enjoy it. That's part of what I like about it. I remember playing RPG custom maps in Warcraft 3, which had a DM. Oh, that's really interesting, too. Was that set up where you were just controlling the hero, or were you actually controlling a faction and producing units and buildings? Because I think I've seen that with unit production. I mean, not unit production, just like a specific hero. And you kind of move around the map like you would in Dota or something like that. So it's kind of like a top-down, isometric, old-school Infinity Engine-looking CRPG kind of setup you had. I thought it was very cool. But yeah, I know Warcraft 3 has a ton of different mods that do stuff like that. I've played Warcraft 3, but not much of the modded content in Warcraft 3. When I was really young, that was one of those games that I played a lot. Diablo 2 and Warcraft 3 was a big part of my childhood, for sure. Another game I'm playing is Avernum, a really old classic that I love. I've heard of this game before. Oh man, we got a ship stuck in the ground here. I think because this is the water for animated water, so it's kind of spawned here. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I've heard of Avernum. It's a classic. It's a CRPG, right? Similar like a Baldur's Gate 2 or something like that. My perfect comfort game is either Quake or Majesty. Oh yeah? Quake is another one of those games I definitely played when I was younger as well. I feel like Quake Arena... Before, I forgot who recently got their hands on it. Was it Bethesda? I feel like it might be Bethesda. But I feel like it had a pretty big community for a while before one of those bigger publishers got their hands on it. I mean, that's a lot of years ago now, but I do remember playing it before that happened. Those type of arena shooters are just, I mean, they're so classic. Unreal Tournament, Quake, some good old memories I have. I think my hand-to-hand is probably too low here. I really like controlling the bear. It feels really good in this game right now with this mod. In Warcraft 3, players would control single heroes and a DM would spawn units in the map and control them. Yeah, that's cool. That'd be my preference too, rather than controlling a whole faction. Yeah, that's sick. I guess there's so many maps that are custom made in Warcraft 3 that, I mean, it's really a perfect game for that. And it already has all the like kind of built-in infrastructure for that isometric top-down kind of RPG experience. Quake 1 got new content? Oh yeah? Like recently? Or a few years ago or something? Yeah, Beth/ZeniMax now, Microsoft own ID Soft. Okay, yeah, it's soft, yeah. That makes sense. Oh yeah, I guess that's kind of why the newer Doom games have been on like Microsoft stuff, right? Probably not on Sony consoles. What about the Hybrid Strafe? It was the first Doom-like game to introduce questing and some kind of RPG elements to shooters. Interesting. I've never heard the name before. Hybrid Strafe. 1 second, I'm going to mute while I drink some water here. All right, I'm back. Any news about Wayward Realms? Didn't hear anything good 3 months ago. Yeah, I'm not sure actually about Wayward Realms. I haven't really been following it too closely. It's kind of weird because they post like very frequently on their YouTube, right? But they don't. They haven't shown like a proper gameplay trailer in a very, very long time. So yeah, I really have no idea where they're at right now in development. But I've not been watching it closely, to be completely honest. Once we get a little bit closer to them actually releasing it, then I'll definitely be looking at it in more detail. But yeah, I'm hoping that they show something soon. It'd be cool. Just a little something of like gameplay, maybe some. Even if they don't have like character controls, I would like them to show maybe just like the environments a little bit. Some of the town and cities would be nice to look at. Maybe some NPCs or quest writing could be cool. We're building Wayward Realms in Daggerfall Unity? Yeah, basically, right? I mean, pretty much. That's why, you know, people have mentioned to me when a very long time ago on the channel, I talked about the Oblivion Remastered. And this is a super old video, but I just mentioned it about kind of just talking about the implications, you know, what this could mean for other older Elder Scrolls title. But I mean, does anyone think that a Daggerfall remaster could ever reach Daggerfall Unity's quality, mod content variety, and even just like stability? Daggerfall Unity is like almost perfectly stable. You basically never get a serious bug in this game. When I do get bugs, and I do get them sometimes, but when I get them, it's always because of mod conflicts, you know, mod issues. It's never because of Unity itself. Yeah, I would just be so surprised if a official Bethesda Daggerfall remaster could even come close to what Daggerfall Unity provides for me personally. So I don't know if it would really interest me that much. I'd probably just cover it on the channel because everyone would be interested. Definitely would at least take a look at it, but yeah, I would be surprised if they could match what Unity provides. Have you done an ambient/immersion mod pack like UI stuff, etc.? Hey, no, I haven't actually done any kind of mod pack like that. I've had a couple people ask me about mod packs recently, so I'm going to look into it a little bit more. I used to think that, you know, Daggerfall Unity is so easy to mod in, and the way I did my mod lists, I was kind of worried if I just dropped a mod pack, that maybe if you have every single mod in my list activated at the same time for a single playthrough, there could be issues. I don't keep all my mods activated at the same time. Some I use for specific playthroughs, some I turn off for others, so I was a little worried about just releasing a single mod pack with it all together, and then everyone being like, oh, the mod pack you gave me has all these issues, and then I wouldn't want to be responsible for screwing up people's games like that. But for like specific mod packs that are more focused maybe on ambience and immersion, I think I could probably do that and not have any issues, and I could look into that, yeah. It'll be bland compared with what... sorry, let me scroll up here on the chat. It'll be bland compared with what you could do with mods in Unity. Yeah, that's my feeling too. If it comes out and is good, cool. Otherwise, my hype has been non-existent since Indigo's Medium article about the project. Oh, was there an article about the project? I didn't even know about that. Yeah, I'm not really like, I don't really think about a Daggerfall remaster as something I want at the moment. But if it came out, of course, I'm gonna check it out. But it's not something I feel like I care about at the moment. Now, Daggerfall Unity is the remaster. I don't want Bethesda to ever touch Daggerfall again. Yeah, that's a completely understandable position to have. Bethesda would add bugs? Yeah, I mean, there's almost no doubt about that, right? That they would add bugs. Last time the Wayward Realms had a genuine devlog, people freaked out about all the placeholder assets, so now they're waiting until things look pretty, and they're also short-staffed, obviously. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if things are, like, very early in development. You don't want to freak out your fan base and also your customer base, and have people kind of make all sorts of conclusions about things that are going to change. Yeah, I could definitely see why they wouldn't want to be showing too much then. I'm fine with waiting. You know, for me, Daggerfall Unity is just such a fun game, and it captures basically everything I would want from a sandbox RPG, so I'm more than happy waiting until the Wayward Realms is, you know, however long they need to make it finished and the product that they want it to be. I'm more than happy to wait. But I don't really look at their channel every day, that's all, so I'm not the most informed about what they've been doing. I can tell you right now with 100% certainty that a Bethesda Daggerfall port/remake couldn't even come close to DFU. Yeah, I mean, it's guaranteed, right? I mean, it'd be impossible to live up to this modding community. It'd be impossible to reach the same level of stability that Unity has, I feel like. I'd have zero. Well, I guess I should say I'm totally convinced right now that Unity would be superior in almost every way, really. Bethesda has no reason to do a port or remake of Daggerfall, so I don't even ever happening. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that argument too. I feel like it wouldn't be that easy for them either. Maybe it would, but I don't know if they really care about Daggerfall after all this time. I don't think they look at Daggerfall and think this is a big moneymaker. That would be my guess. Oblivion, I think, made sense for them. And I think it did pretty well for them as well. At least that's what it seemed like to me. It sold a decent amount, I think. Yes, if you want to look more, if you want to know more about why Wayward Realms is taking so long, you can start at Indigo's article, then go from there. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, I just haven't been following. I subscribe to them, so I do see the updates on their channel about, they show off a lot of, like, art stuff that they're working on, which I think is cool. They talk about faction, like, concepts they have going on, which I think is cool, too. And just in general, they engage with the community a lot, and I like that, at least. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be, like, another year until we start seeing, like, real gameplay and stuff like that, which would be okay with me. Especially with the way Unity modding is going, like, man, it's like every month there's an insane amount of new stuff coming out for Daggerfall Unity anyway. I feel like I gotta change my animated water settings a little bit. It looks a little interesting right now. Do they still do, like, their, I know they were doing a bunch of, like, long-form talking videos where they discussed, updates. I don't know if that was, like, a monthly thing they did. I'm not sure if they're still doing that or not, though. But, makes no sense for Bethesda to remake Daggerfall, because what people love about Daggerfall is the nostalgia. They clearly are unable to connect with the community, so I don't think they will ever try. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would be surprising to see, like, a announcement on a remaster of Daggerfall. I just don't think they care about it. I don't think they feel like there's a lot of money sitting here to be made with a remaster. And I don't know how easy this game would be to remaster either, you know? It's kind of hard for me to tell based on how it is. But yeah, I mean, I do think Daggerfall, whenever I see big videos of Daggerfall blow up, it's always of talking about, like, the size of the map, which is a really cool thing to talk about with Daggerfall, but I think people have an idea about Daggerfall that might be different than how it feels for them to play, especially if they don't play a modded version of Daggerfall. Like a remaster of Daggerfall that comes out from Bethesda and doesn't have any kind of mods. Like imagine no travel options, no World of Daggerfall project, no role-playing realism. It's just a very different game that I think a lot of people might not like. So I feel like Bethesda might think it's not worth it for them. What's your business with my vessel? Do you wish to plunder the ship? No. Get into a huge fight there. It'll be a really cool game when it comes out in 2047, yeah. I'm sure we'll all be around by then. Not easy at all. The game is huge and really difficult to do a AAA remaster. Yeah, that's what I would assume too. It doesn't feel like this would be an easy project to remaster to me. Unless they do like a very basic remaster, but even then, I just feel like, I don't know. It's a pirate ship here? Yeah. Is there a shopkeep on this one? I don't think so. Fantasy lesson elements greater than map size? Yeah, I think in general that's definitely true. It's kind of a funny thing about Daggerfall, like the map is gigantic, and with the right mod support, that's very cool. But the large map alone is not something I particularly, you know, think of as like one of Daggerfall's best aspects. The world of Daggerfall makes use of the large world very well, though. And what's nice about having a large world is having that variety of topography, that variety of architecture for buildings. You know, we got the Hammerfell regions that have the flat top desert architecture. Yeah, that kind of variety is nice about having a very large world. But, you know, there's so many regions that I don't fully explore because of how large Daggerfall is. It's just very hard to see it all. And what's really nice about having such a large world also is that whenever you start a new playthrough, you could be like, you know, I'm going to start in this region that I've never even really explored before. And that's an exciting way to keep the game fresh, I think. But yeah, in general, I definitely care more about like the fantasy life, sim elements, and just being able to roleplay well. A sandbox like this is some of my favorite stuff. You know what I really love about this mod? I think SquidKamer did this, right? He made the NPCs face in different directions. And you see how this person's like off angle a little bit, and so is she. This one has their back turned to you, so you'll never see their face no matter how you turn, of course, because the flat turns with you. And I would love to see this done more often in Daggerfall mods, especially in places like taverns. Because when you walk into a tavern in Daggerfall and everyone's just staring at you, it's kind of weird, the vibe. Like this person obviously will turn with me because they're facing me. But a lot of these NPCs, and SquidKamer does this with a lot of his mods, where he builds NPCs that don't just stare at you. They have different perspectives that you're looking at. It's very nice. It adds a lot of immersion to me. This kind of games are best maintained and remastered by the community. That's why it's so important to support open source projects. That's the real preservation. Yeah, absolutely. That's well said. Especially your first point, that is best maintained by the community, is absolutely correct. And it's not even close. Wouldn't really want it in anyone else's hands besides people that understand it well and have a passion for it and love it. Which is exactly what Daggerfall is, and that's why Daggerfall has been so successful with its Unity remaster. I mean, it's all just very talented mod authors that understand the game on a deep level, care about it. This game is 100% preserved and improved for free. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's insane. I'm tired of remakes and remasters with 90% or worse than the original. Modern games barely have any game design, and that lack of thought is carried back to the old games that were made with intention. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I'm just not interested in remasters in general. I can't. It's kind of. I was saying in the last stream as well. I can't even think of a single remaster that I played that I enjoyed more than the original. Not that I play remasters too often anyway, but it's kind of a funny thing that I just can't even think of a single one. I mean, yeah. I mean, official ones done by big studios, you know? Obviously, Daggerfall Unity is, in a way, a remaster, and I think it's the best way to experience Daggerfall, personally. But I agree that, in general, like, I don't know, I'm just not interested in remasters. I think they kind of don't understand, often, the essence of what made the game great in the first place. Yeah. That tends to be the case in my personal experience, like, interacting with remasters. Let me catch up on chat a little bit. I agree. I don't believe that Bethesda Day can do this game justice. I'm so thankful for the community. Yo, what's up, EquestrianKatz? You caught the stream. I've been doing a long one this time, so hopefully more people are able to join and hang out. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, if everyone is staring at you, it makes you seem like you're at the center of the world instead of being a part of it. Yeah, especially in like taverns. I think it really works for taverns. Hey, what's up, Courier07? Hey, what I missed, just joined. We were going over some of the Necromancer mod stuff. I could hop on that character real quick, actually. I've been away from it for a little bit. Some people have joined since then. Yeah, we were checking out the new Necromancer mod by Vox. It's been awesome. He did great work. Really great work. Only real fans can remaster/remake games. No money involved. Money can ruin passion. Yeah. Todd is proud to announce Creation Club for Daggerfall. Yeah. Likewise, looking at you, Oblivion Remastered and Halo Campaign Evolved. Yeah, I've heard about this Halo Campaign Evolved controversy stuff. I heard they did terrible on the remaster. Again, another case of this happening. It's absolutely crazy. I never really played the Halo games, so I don't have much experience with it, but yeah, it's crazy. I know that's like a recent example that people are not happy with. At least they gave the OG game for free. Other studios would never. That's true. Yeah, actually, I was kind of surprised. When I first played, let me toggle God mode on here real quick, because I'm sick, I think, my character. Yeah, when I first played both Arena and Daggerfall, I was kind of shocked that this game was free. Like, I would expect at least like a $5, just because they can, you know? But yeah, it's nice that it's free. I think they're unable to make a good remaster/remake because they try to do as little as they can to just get extra money out of a game. They don't do it out of passion. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, they're definitely just trying to optimize the least amount of work for the most return on investment, right? Ports with quality of life improvements greater than remasters. Yeah, that's true. That's a better way to even think of Unity, honestly. Even Unity, I don't know. Do you guys consider the Unity version a remaster, or do you consider it like a port more than a remaster? I guess that can kind of be similar in some way, but I guess Unity does make some interesting changes, though, that are... I want to kill this loud rat real quick, if I can. My squad will get him. Yeah, I guess there are some changes with Unity that are deeper than just, you know, quality of life. Though I guess maybe not too much. I don't know. It's hard to say. I did. I'm glad too. Yeah, it's good to see you. Finally. I guess because I've been trying to do some different time slots here with the stream. It's a little hard to accommodate, which is my schedule, with the EU crowd as well. Just because the time difference is a little hard for me, but yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake was okay, but didn't have the camp and fun of the original. Also, I'm sick of dodge/parry in every game. Yeah, I do feel like the gameplay changes on a lot of these games are some of the worst parts about it for me personally. Like, you always can feel that sort of that design space being lost. One of my favorite things about older games is that there was a less centralized or accepted way that combat had to be. Games had unique game feels, they had unique mechanics. Controls would sometimes be very weird and different, but sometimes that would build like a different game feel that was enjoyable or unique for that title. And there's such like a uniform, accepted way to build these kind of things in gaming today that I just think we see less of that probably than we used to. I mentioned that a little bit in my Ghost in the Shell video, actually. I think if people were looking at that game, the controls feel bad to them, but to me, it actually feels great because it just feels like no other game today. Halo Campaign Evolved is just asset soup and clearly had no central design plan around it, while Halo Combat Evolved is a masterclass in game design. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Halo games, but I did already catch some of the controversy. Halo Combat Evolved is one of my favorite games, so it hurt my soul a bit, but it's par for the course. Yeah, unfortunately, it absolutely is these days. Yeah, I kind of just ignore remasters half the time for that reason. Especially with bigger studios. I think sometimes smaller studios can do okay with remasters. I don't know if you guys have heard that the Lord of the Rings War in the North game just got re-released. And it's a very loose remaster, but it is a remaster. It adds a couple different things. And War in the North is one of those games that I think is a really great Lord of the Rings game. And I don't think that way about most Lord of the Rings games. but it took its character seriously. It took its world seriously. It tried to incorporate the aesthetic of the movies, which some people might not like, but for what they were going for, I think they captured it well. And that War in the North just re-released on Steam and GOG. I think consoles as well, just the other day. Kind of like a bit of a shadow drop. And I think a lot of people kind of rediscovering how some of these older games felt so good like this, and how you can keep it simple with remasters, especially if you're not going to improve it with your changes, you know, just trying to keep to the essence of what made it great is, I think, the way to go. The Chads of remasters are Beamdog. Yes, Beamdog are amazing at it, of course. Neverwinter Nights. A lot of the other Infinity games, right? Icewind Dale, they also remastered. Baldur's Gate, yeah, as well. Even ported to Android, yeah, absolutely. But a lot of the Beamdog guides, I think, were actually original. They were at least somewhat involved, some of them, with the original titles, right? So for them, they're, of course, going to understand the way to capture the essence and preserve what made those games special. I can't remember if it was you that showcased this mod, but have you tried the Bards and Balladeers mod? Really nice and new way to approach the game. Yes, I have showcased it, not in a dedicated video, but I had included it in, I think, the big 2026 mod list video of mine. I think it's a great mod. Yeah, it's really fun. That mod showcase video that I did for it was not the best. I could have done a better job, I think. But yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I did do that one once. Maybe someday, if I get into another playthrough with it, maybe I'll actually properly cover that mod. The campaign evolved. Credits lasted 20 minutes, all crediting characters because Halo Studios couldn't be bothered to make their own game. Original game's credits lasted 2 minutes. Wow. Sheesh. It's been programmed from the ground up without the original code, so I think it's a remake. I see. That's interesting. Yeah, that makes more sense. Thanks for reading the chat, man. Not an easy task. Yeah, I got to get better at playing and reading the chat, though. I can read the chat a lot, but then I just kind of stand here, which might not be fun for people that are watching the VOD. I know in this video, in this stream today, we're just checking out the Necromancer mod, which I did a lot of already. But yeah, my favorite part about streaming is just hanging out with you guys and chatting now. That's why I've been doing it so much this week. I've been really enjoying it. There's a setting in this mod called Funny Mode that will occasionally make the skeletons do Elvis impersonations. My friends keep saying them to me, so I had to put them in. That's awesome. Can I change that mid-game here? I don't know if you have a settings thing for the in-game thing. I know not every mod can easily set this up. I don't... Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, cool. Funny Mode. All right, let's see if we can hear the Elvis. Let's spawn some new ones, actually. Maybe they'll make the noise. That's pretty funny. If I'm idle, will they still have a chance to do it, or do I have to be in combat or something? Yeah, I get what you mean. Everyone was still figuring out controls and trying different things in the 90s. Yeah, absolutely. Was that it? I have my headphones on low. Wait, let me turn my stuff up. Nah, that's just the normal skeleton sounds. I ended up quickly refunding it and played the original Halo shortly after. There are some wonderful community-made rebalances and mods for Halo Seat. That's awesome. That's the way to do it. Speak with your wallet. That's what's up. I respect that. What's the difference with Cheb's Necromancy mod? You know, Rod, I'm actually not entirely sure. I actually have not fooled around too much with Cheb's Necromancy. I know that's an older one that's been out for a while. And I did try it out at some point. It's just, it's been a very long time now. But I know that the way that this mod here... Oh, I hear it now. That was the Elvis. Nice. This mod has a really unique way of determining your maximum army using this bound system, where each summoned unit has a certain point value, and this is your maximum point value. This lets you have larger armies of weaker enemies or smaller armies of stronger enemies based on the point system, or doing a mix and match, of course. So I don't think Cheb's Necromancy works anyway like that, if I remember correctly. I really like this system because it's a great way to balance like different types of armies. If it was just a set limit of, like, for example, let's say if you have 80 mysticism, you get 8 numbers. Then it kind of just defaults to what's the strongest minion, and then you have that one, right? There could be some instances where one minion's arguably better or worse than another, but yeah. with a system that's kind of based on a point system like this, you can have really cool variety, and there's reasons to have completely different army makeups, which I like. But this mod also adds a ton of different things. You got corpse explosion. You could also blow up your own summons, and it'll do AoE damage stuff. This corpse explosion will blow up different corpses that are around. You can siphon life off of corpses. You can... If I turn off God mode here, you can see this... I forgot what the spell is called. I can check real quick. Dark Deal. This will let you sacrifice some of your life to restore some of your magicka, which is very, very cool. And this spell, even if you didn't want to do a full Necromancer playthrough, some of these spells could be useful for a Sorcerer, actually. I really like when mods are like that. This is a flexible mod, you know? So if I press this, you can see my health goes down and my mana will regenerate. And that's very cool for like a Sorcerer. It's also cool for anyone that makes a custom class that wants to limit the way that their spell point regeneration works. So let's say you grab the disadvantage, no spell point regeneration. Then you can make this spell a major part of your character's kit, right? They would rely on this basically. So it's pretty cool. I like that about it a lot. It's also very clean. Everything about this mod is just working very nicely. There's this reposition spell. See how they're kind of far away? I could press this button and they'll appear in front of me. All my summons. And I've had no issues with them following me or getting caught anywhere, so it's just very clean, I feel like, this mod. I remember the Moo Moo from Diablo 2, the secret cow level. I can imagine devs doing the cow voices. Yeah, that's a classic. I was a huge, huge fan of Diablo 2 when I was young. It's still a game I love a lot today. Which is another example of a remaster that I don't like, speaking of which. There's just way too many changes to the original Diablo 2, in my opinion. I know some people do like it, though. Even some old school fans do like the remaster, at least some of it. But yeah, it's not for me, for sure. Oh, Sandstorm. Did you intentionally delete that message, or did you get timeout from my auto mod things? Let me know if you can, because if you're getting timed out, I gotta fix that. I gotta check this mod out sometime along with the Druid mod. Yes, absolutely. The Druid mod, just because I love Druids personally, is one of my favorites in recent time. One of the first things I looked for when I got Unity was Druid mod support. Because I was so surprised that the original game didn't have a pre-made Druid class. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, now finally, mod author did an amazing job with it. Nah, I just typed... Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, my auto mod does sometimes do like false flags on... Oh, I took a ton of damage there. Really cool thing about this mod, too, is that when you summon these creatures, there's actually a chance that they will break out of your control. And it's just so nice to have a concept like that in a Necromancy mod. Necromancy, like being a power that's could be dangerous to the user as well. I love the concept of that. Especially as you're leveling up and still getting better at Necromancy. And the higher rank enemies, I think, have a higher chance to do that. Also depends on your skill and stuff like that, of course, but it's really, really nice. The thing I don't like about remasters is when studios remove the original game from the store and force you to buy the remaster. Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, that's awful. Something like that's pretty much the worst effect a remaster could have on a title, is them trying to delete that and try to get sales for the remaster by removing the original. I mean, that's just awful. Ooh, Diablo 2, one of my favorites too. Have you played Grim Dawn? I have played Grim Dawn, yeah. I actually ended up playing Grim Dawn because I was a big fan of the first Titan Quest, even though it's a much different style of an ARPG than Diablo 2. And it's much slower too, but I actually like the game feel a lot of Titan Quest. And Grim Dawn's by many of the same Titan Quest creators, so yeah, I like Grim Dawn a lot. I haven't played in a while, though. I knew a new expansion recently came out, right? There's like a new shapeshifting class, so that's kind of cool. I ended up writing a full AI pathfinding system for the undead minions. The default system just couldn't make the minions attack with light. Wow, that's crazy, Vox. Yeah, I mean, I can feel it. I really can, Vox. It's just very, very clean, the way these NPCs are functioning right now. It's one of the first things I mentioned when I was doing the live stream, is that it does not feel quite like how Language Skills Overhaul feels. There's a bit of like a cleaner, more controllable AI presence here, I feel like. Yeah, no, it turned out awesome. It turned out really great. Grim Dawn is massive. Honestly, same. Our dreams have finally come true. Spells backfiring can be cool sometimes. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool for Necromancy specifically. And being based on your mysticism skill, I'm guessing, is what it's based on. But yeah, the idea that someone in your army could turn against you when you're trying to control these really powerful undead creatures is pretty cool to me. They've done that to Sacred 2. Yes, Sacred 2 is another game I played and liked a lot. Yeah, I heard the remaster in Sacred 2, though, is like almost not functioning. Like they just brought out a completely bugged, messed up version that is like not even reliably running for a lot of people. So that's absolutely crazy to do something like that. Yeah, Sacred 2 I have good memories of, but I like Sacred 1 a little better, personally. Yeah. Sacred 1 had an amazing art style, kind of similar to the Infinity Engine looking games, that sort of like painted, pre-rendered backgrounds. It's just absolutely beautiful, that game, the way it looks. Aged so nicely, that art style. Hi all, I'm too late, I guess. Hey, what's up, you know? Yeah, you're a little late. We might be ending soonish here. I showed off a lot of the Necromancer mod. You can definitely check out the VOD, though. It's good to see you anyway, though. Hope you're doing well. The new expansion is really cool. I've been trying out the new class. It's been so fun to shapeshift into a werewolf and cause havoc. That's awesome. Is it kind of like Druid? Is it like a Druid class fantasy? Is it more just kind of like specifically shapeshifting, kind of like werewolf style, and not really focus on like Druid stuff? I wasn't sure what they were going for. It looked to me more like purely shapeshifting. Could also grab a vampire, which is cool. It's based on level. The idea is that when a spell becomes available to you, it's dangerous to cast until you get a few more levels under you. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense, yeah. Does it matter the... Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. The idea is that when a spell becomes available to you. Okay, yeah. Wow, that hissing's crazy. Is that the vampire? Yeah, it's gotta be the vampire. That's cool. I love... Yeah, there's also... I don't know, I did mention it earlier, but I haven't mentioned it in a while, but this mod, guys, also has its own custom sound effects, which is very, very cool. And it's really appreciated because if you were summoning a bunch of skeletons, you would be like hearing that screaming nonstop, right? Yeah, so it's nice not to have that happening too much because it would be crazy otherwise. Well, I'm headed out. It was awesome again to catch one of your streams. Looking forward to your next one. Yes, thanks so much, Orbit. I appreciate it. And thanks for becoming a member. That was really nice. Very generous of you. Thank you. It is very much appreciated. I'll be streaming more often these days. I plan to do this kind of random stream times like this more often. For the weekends, I'm going to try and keep to a schedule so people that can only catch it on the weekends can actually catch it. But for the week, yeah, whenever I'm just feeling it. I usually work at night, so I can do these morning and afternoon streams, and it's usually okay for me. They even removed a lot of stuff to Sacred 2. What ruined Sacred 2 is its buggy camera. Oh yeah, what'd they remove from it? Yeah, I heard it didn't run well at all. I didn't know about like changes like that to it though. Man, they like double dipped in the terrible decision makings for remaster, huh? In Belgariad and Malorion books, sorcerers would have to stay in a magic circle when summoning demons or would turn on them. Oh, that's a sick concept too. Oh, I like that actually. A couple games have this concept, like, you know, RPG spells. Oh, I missed what she said. I was talking over the funny line. But yeah, a couple games have that concept, like runes on the ground. There was one game that's all about that. I can't even think of it now. It's... Was it Two Worlds? It might have been Two Worlds. I don't know if you guys know anything about Two Worlds. It's kind of famous for its very crazy magic system with very cool spells.
Excuse me. Do you have a little drop of blood? It'll only pinch a little.
I heard it now here. She's saying, excuse me, do you have a little drop of blood and something else? But I couldn't hear it. Vampires have one funny emote line each. Nice. Yeah, I think we might end it here. I feel like this was a lot of fun. I'm actually starting to think that the live streams are like potentially a slightly better format for me to be showcasing mods. I get to like look at every detail, you know? When I make a specific video, it's a lot harder to just showcase every small thing about it. And because I'm kind of just naturally playing during a live stream, some of the emergent stuff that I might just miss from a mod can sometimes just happen. And then I catch something really cool that I didn't even know was part of the mod. So yeah, I think this might be the way I start doing some more mod showcase things. Of course, for my like major mod showcase compilation videos, I'll still do those as videos, of course. But when I have like a little mod that just released like this and I want to show it to everyone, yeah, I think the live stream is a cool format to do that in, actually. But yeah, this was a pretty long one. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I always appreciate it. Of course, so many cool things that have come out from my favorite games. My wife wants to play... is that old school RuneScape? Yeah, old school RuneScape with me. It's her fave, but I've been too distracted lately. Yeah, I got a bunch of games in my backlog I got to get back to also. I was saying earlier, once I get some more of the major Daggerfall content I want to do on the live stream, I think we'll start branching out and playing some new games. 10 minutes fine for me? Oh, man. Next time. I'll be changing up the times that I stream at, so it should be easier for people with schedules that don't work for this usual time to hopefully be able to catch some more of it. It's really cool to catch your stream and chat. Yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite part about streaming these days. I've been loving the conversations and just hanging out with you guys. But yeah, I think we'll end here. I'll probably do another random stream throughout the week again at some point. I think we'll also wait for the vampire mod to come out, and we'll eventually cover that in a live stream as well from Vox. I know he's working on that. No rush, of course, but I just want to mention it because I'm excited about it. Thanks again for looking at the mod. It's been a blast to see people enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing it with us and putting in the work to make it a reality. Take care, Eric. Take care, everyone else, too. Thanks for hanging out. And hopefully I'll see you in the next live stream.